try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me. Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me. Easy, you don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds, they can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep on this scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
Muted.
Crap! I pulled a raw B. Raw B. All right. Appreciate everybody for coming in. We'll make this quick. Hit that subscribe button and the likes, all that good stuff. Sir Hell, thank you, sir. Appreciate you chiming in. Life been crazy. Okay, so when I say that I put so much pride into the stuff we do for Great Bill Podcast for all our subscribers, I mean, it took me an hour to do a simple thumbnail for y'all guys. So trust me when I say, when I put every effort into y'all guys, I do. So I appreciate y'all for coming in. So everybody want that tea, so I want to get straight to it. All right. Shout out to Robbie. You can check her out at Robbie Privilege on the YouTube channel. Heck, just Google her. You'll see her everywhere. I promise you. We had started this little journey, so we're gonna see how long this takes. We're gonna finish it out together. All right. What's going on, Robbie?
Nothing much. Listen, I wanted to tap in, but I knew we were gonna watch together. So I was like, nope, I'm not even gonna watch. I'm just gonna wait.
It's like the best horror drama thriller ever. I just like pushed everything aside. I just looked at like, oh Lord, here we go. We got to get this going. So, all right, ladies and gents, we're gonna do this.
Okay.
I don't know how much you saw so far, but I literally just chimed in on it. And the first 5 minutes of it, I saw they was talking to some guy, questioning some guy about his credibility.
And those are all components of what they make during the marriage? Correct. Okay, thank you. All right, and then you said, I can't really comment on the document until I get this information. What document were you referring to there?
I hear you, Johnny.
The post-nup agreement that I anticipated she would send. How much time expired between when you were sent the confidentiality agreement for Amber Heard to sign and when you indicated back to counsel for Mr. Depp that Amber is sending the signed confidentiality agreement to you? The next day. What, if any, communication did you receive from Mr. Depp in connection with the post-nup agreement?
I received one telephone call.
And whom did you receive that telephone call from?
Mr. Depp.
Please describe the telephone call from Mr. Depp.
My recollection is that he was very mean, that he called me names, and that he fired me on behalf of them.
When you say that he was very mean, what did you mean?
Well, my only exact recollection is he called me a bitch.
Mr. Depp called you a bitch on that telephone call?
Hearsay, leaving.
What, if any, observations did you make during the telephone call from Mr. Depp, during which time he called you a bitch?
I thought he was under the influence.
Why did you think that?
He was slurring his words, and his speech pattern was similar to my children's speech pattern when they were under him. I was just extremely rattled by the call. Yeah, I was on the phone for a very short time with him because he was represented by counsel, and I didn't want to be rude and hang up, but I told him I had to hang up. Like after 2 or 3 minutes after I realized what was happening, took me very off guard. And that's all I remember is that it really shook me up.
After that phone call, did you perform any further services for Ms. Heard in connection with the postnuptial agreement?
No,
Do you recall ever seeing a postnuptial draft agreement?
no,
Has either Ms. Heard or Mr. Depp contacted you at any time after the call with Mr. Depp respecting pursuing a postnuptial agreement?
no,
Who, if anyone, was paying your legal services?
I don't recall.
So you can recall Johnny Depp calling you out of your name, but you can't record.
Had the authority to fire you?
No,
Did you tell him that?
I don't recall.
And isn't it true that he wouldn't have had the authority to fire you even if he were paying for your legal services? True?
True.
What, if any, communications did you have with Dana Lowy about your conversation with Mr. Depp after the conversation with Mr. Depp?
I don't recall specifically.
What do you recall generally, if anything?
I do recall that I told her that I was no longer representing him. But I don't know if I did that in writing. Somehow she knew.
But
Somehow she
and
knew.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you testified that Mr. Depp did not have the authority to fire you, correct?
Correct.
Ms. Mulrooney, when did your attorney-client relationship with Ms. Heard relating to a potential postnuptial agreement terminate?
Shortly after that phone call.
When you say shortly after that phone call, can you give us a time frame of how long it was after the phone call?
Within a few days, could be one.
He didn't have the power to fire you, correct?
Correct.
Do you have any recollection of ever receiving any more communications from Dana Lowry furthering the postnuptial agreement after Johnny Depp called you and told you he was firing you on behalf of Amber and called you names?
No substantive. I recall that there was no more substantive conversations.
Is there any question in your mind that it was Mr. Depp who called you?
No.
All right. Yes, ma'am, your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor, we'd like to call the Disney corporate representative.
Oh, snap. Get him, Granny.
All right.
Hmm.
Would you please state your name and your business address for the record?
Tina Newman, Walt Disney Studios Motion Picture Production, live action, 500 South Buena Vista Street, Burbank, California, 91521.
And what is your current occupation?
I'm a production executive.
And what is your job title?
That is my title, production executive. I work in the live action feature division for Disney.
Is it your understanding you're testifying on behalf of Walt Disney Motion
Erica
Pictures Group?
Badooey. That was real gay, my nigga.
Were you involved in the documents responsive to the documents subpoenaed to Disney?
Yes, I did provide some documentation to Alec and his group from our production group.
I'm going to ask you to take a look at what I've just highlighted under topic number, it's subpoena ducus tecum, paragraph number 2. And it asks for documents relating to this case, in fact, and then it also says specifically, this specifically includes op-ed by Ms. Heard and any impact it may have had on the above. And that includes, as it's defined above, including the business relationship with Mr. Depp, including considering Mr. Depp for any work with Disney or future Pirates of the Caribbean role, a lesser or greater role, a different role, or a different production. Do you recall seeing in any of the documents you reviewed, either being involved as a corporate designee or in preparing as the corporate designee, do you recall seeing an op-ed written by Ms. Heard?
No.
Do you recall in your preparation as the corporate designee of Disney and your review of the documents that were produced by Disney, any document that referred in any manner to the op-ed written by Ms. Heard?
I would say no.
What else is she supposed to say? She can't say yes. If she does, that puts the Disney Corporation in a precarious situation.
In response to these
Then I gotta have that.
taken. The word,
Especially if Amber's found guilty of defamation.
I don't recall that, no.
did you have any discussions with anyone at Disney about any future Pirates of the Caribbean role, a lesser or greater role, a different role, or a different production?
No.
Did you have
She
any
lying.
discussions with anyone at Disney about the impact of the op-ed by Ms. Heard on the relationship between Disney and Mr. Depp, including considering Mr. Depp for any work with Disney, any future Pirates of the Caribbean role, a lesser or greater role, a different role, or a different production?
No.
Do you know whether Mr. Depp is being considered for a role in Pirates 6?
No.
And when
Oh,
you say no, I think I have to probably ask clarification. Does that mean you don't know one way or the other, or he is not being considered?
I don't know one way or the other.
Do you
Doesn't
know?
fall.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that decision doesn't fall within my job responsibility.
so why are you here?
It's above my head. It's the best way to say it.
So what is the knowledge you have about Pirates 6?
Like I said, I just know that it's a project that's possibly in development at the studio. That's it.
Do you know whether anyone at Disney has ever even read the op-ed written by Ms. Heard?
No.
Are you aware of anyone else at Disney who has knowledge of the topic areas in the deposition notice, that's deposition exhibit number 2, that beyond what you know?
I can't honestly say, I can't speak for someone else. Like I explained earlier, my knowledge and what my job functionality is at the studio, that plateaus, and there are people that I work under, and those particular persons may or may not have more knowledge, but I can't speak on behalf of them.
Is Disney
She's looking dead at
aware
the camera.
that
What's
Mr.
wrong with her?
Depp has testified
Mhm.
under oath that he would not take another Pirates of the Caribbean franchise role for $300 million and a million alpacas?
No.
Would Disney
She sounded kind of salty when she heard
pay
that.
Mr. Depp more than $300 million and provide him with more than a million alpacas to be able to obtain his services for any future Pirates of the Caribbean role?
No.
I'm going to show
She's
you
lying.
even
That
more
body language said a
deposition
lot.
52 to Alan Horn. Who's that?
He was our co-chairman.
Of Disney?
Yes,
And Alan Bergman, who's he?
same. He's the other co-chairman of Disney,
Hmm.
or was at the time.
And then Sean Bailey, you indicated.
Oh, they let them go.
President?
It's our president of production, correct?
Okay, and then Ricky Strauss, who's he?
I believe at the time he was the head of our marketing group.
And Paul Rader.
Paul Reeder is the head of communications.
All right, and this is from Angela Shaw, and it's dated 5/10/2017. Do you see that?
Yes.
And it says, subject HR, Johnny Depp, a star in crisis, and the insane story of his missing millions. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any understanding as to why Angela Shaw was sending this communication to this group, the two co-chairmen, the president, vice president of production, head of communications on this particular day?
I don't know what the intent of the email is, but obviously we have a relationship as a company with Johnny, so I assume that's why she may be bringing it to their attention.
All right, and just to take that a little bit further, given that Disney has a relationship with Johnny Depp, if there is publicity relating to Johnny Depp, whether it be positive or negative, that would be relevant to Disney, would it not?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say how it's relevant to Disney, but given that Angela is part of communications, it's her job to, keep the studio abreast, I guess, of
No, we don't know. That's why we're asking
anything
you.
concerning the company. So that's about as far as I can read into it.
Okay. And so that's your interpretation of why Angela Shaw sent this to that group of people, was to keep them apprised of this particular article on Johnny Depp. Would you agree?
Yeah, that would be my assumption.
But she just said that she didn't know anybody read it.
Would you take a look at what it's been labeled as exhibit number 53, and it is Disney 114 through 137. And I'm going to ask you if you recognize this document.
Well, it looks like an internal email. It may have been part of the disclosure documents.
Keep scratching, lady.
This one's from Alan Horn, and I think we've identified Alan Horn before. Well, actually, it starts with, let's start down here. On June 21st, 2018, all right, and then it has a reply from Sean Bailey, sad. Do you see that?
Yes.
What was Mr. Bailey's position with Disney on June 21st, 2018?
I believe he was the president then.
Okay.
He may have been the EVP. I don't know.
Okay. And then we have an email at the top. It's to Sean Bailey, CC Janelle Tipton. And then it has some copies to some other people. It's from Alan Horn.
She looked like she can't even breathe right now.
Directors, is that correct?
Co-chairman.
Co-chairman. Okay.
She's uncomfortable.
Alan Bergman.
The other co-chairman.
Okay. And do you have any recollection of ever reading the Rolling Stones article about Johnny Depp back in this time frame?
I honestly don't remember if I ever read this document. I may have.
Do you have any understanding of why this would be sent from Alan Horn to these other individuals on the top?
Again, same as before, just because of the fact that we have a relationship with Johnny. So they may have determined it was important to bring it to their attention.
All right, Ms. Newman, I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition exhibit number 54. And do you recognize this document?
But Amber's attorney thinks that this is actual
looks like a
helpful testimony for her.
I guess so.
It's an email.
There's been a lose-lose downhill.
Scott, to myself, Scott Sellers is in post-finance. And then I replied to Scott. So it looks like an email exchange between the two of us.
But they're signing around this email. So you sent the link and nobody read it?
Correct.
What is that?
Let's check it trap.
He handles all finances. Once them goes into post.
Nobody recalls anything, Rob.
Picture. Also reporting.
Nobody recalls anything.
Reporting finances.
You ain't learn right now.
And this is July 14th.
Leading hearsay here.
Hey, I know. We learn stuff every day. We learn new stuff every day.
All reading the story? that was in the Rolling Stone?
Yeah, I should have been a lawyer. I'm
I mean, to
slipping.
be honest, I don't really remember much about the story, but obviously I must have looked at it and commented.
Right, and
So that's literally perjury.
you commented depressing. Do you see
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Mm.
And just to go back to
Hey,
refreshing the
TC.
recollection on the
Hey, the Chester
template,
Cat.
do you see that it has importance and received on this when you sent it back?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Ms. Newman, I'm going to ask you to take a look at what has been marked as deposition exhibit number 56. And it is a document also produced by Disney, and there's the date stamps, Disney 167 through 177. And I'm gonna ask you to take a look at the top there. This is to Alan Bergman from, and it has THRs Today and Entertainment. Do you understand what that is?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to turn down to 169. It says Johnny Depp's legal team prepares for court hearing about Amber Heard abuse claims. The actor's camp is previewing the evidence that it will present in an upcoming court hearing in the UK this fall, tied to a defamation lawsuit against his son for an article that labeled the actor a, quote, wife beater, unquote. Katie Kaleni reports. Do you see that?
Yes.
Do you have a recollection of learning about this and reading about the UK case in this time frame? We're talking October 2018.
I may have seen a headline come across my desk in the same manner as Alan received it, but that's probably as far as it went.
Ms. Newman, I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition number 60. And it's dated November 5, 2020. And it says Disney reportedly scraps plans for Depp's POTC 6. I'm assuming that's Pirates of the Caribbean 6 return. You see that? Question was, did you see it?
Yes, I see it.
As you sit here today, are you aware of any document in Disney's emails or in their IT system or anywhere that contains Amber Heard's op-ed from December of 2018?
I mean, no, not that I'm aware.
Okay. Are you aware of any decision maker within Disney who has ever said they are not casting Johnny Depp in Pirates 6 or any other role because of Amber Heard's op-ed?
No.
Are you aware of any decision maker outside of Disney? And by this, I'm including producers, directors, people of that ilk, who have ever said they were not considering Mr. Depp for Pirates 6 or any other movie because of Amber Heard's op-ed from December 2018?
No.
That was leading. That was leading.
All right.
I'm gonna step away 1 minute. Robbie making me hungry. I got pizza waiting on me.
How much?
Okay.
We have an 11-minute one.
Okay, that's fine. What's your next witness?
Ellen Barkin,
All right.
Barkin.
Thank you.
That whole testimony, y'all, just made Amber Heard look real bad because it's still detailing. They were passing around articles around the time of that op-ed, honey. They was passing that op-ed through that phone. That's just what they could catch in them
I think
emails.
the first thing that would be very short but very simple and clean for the record is if you could just describe kind of your career background. I know it's very lengthy, but just give a kind of brief summary of kind of when you started working and what you've done during your career.
I started acting professionally about 26 or 7. And I did theater, television, movies, lots of them. That's what I did for 40 years.
And in the course of your career acting in theater, television, movies, etc., you come to meet a person by the name of Johnny Depp?
Yes.
Can you specify in time, Ms. Barkin, when you met him?
I would say 1990.
And upon or after meeting him, did there come a time when you became friends?
Yes.
And can you describe how that happened?
We just developed a friendship over time that lasted, I guess, if we met in the 90s, maybe 10 years, a little less.
And fair to say that Mr. Depp at the time was also an actor, a professional actor?
Yes.
Were you, did you act in any film, stage, or TV productions with Mr. Depp?
Yes, I was in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
How often would you see Mr. Depp?
When I lived in New York, usually whenever I go to LA, if I were in LA, I'd see him once a week, maybe more. I mean, the friendship went up and down, living on different coasts.
And did there come a time when your friendship with Mr. Depp became more than that, became romantic in nature?
Yes.
And at what point in time did your relationship with
Johnny
Mr. Depp
had all the
turn into
baddies because
romantic?
she used to be a baddie back in the day.
After I had moved to Hollywood, and he, switched the buttons.
I don't recognize her.
Recall what year you moved to Hollywood?
Ellen Barkin?
Yes.
Yes.
1994.
When you said switch the buttons, can you tell me what you meant by that?
The friendship went from a purely platonic friendship to a romantic one.
Yes, Luke Hazy Pizza.
At that point in 1994,
She
when
do
the
look
relationship
bad
turned
here on this
romantic,
stand. Look at him. He's like this whole.
you're not.
Okay, now I remember
For
her.
how long did your relationship with Mr. Depp remain sexual?
Several months.
Woman scorned. I already see it.
Anywhere between 3 and 5, 6.
Listen.
And during that period, how often would you see Mr. Depp? That period when it was sexual?
So I'd see him 3 or 4 times a week.
And again, I'm not looking to pry into private details, but can you tell me like where you would see him? Just give me some sense of that.
Yeah, he would come to my house or I would go to his house.
In both houses in LA?
Yes, about 10-minute drive apart from each other.
And at either when you were at his house, where you didn't stay the night, or were you at his house when you did stay the night, were there other people in the house who saw you there? Who would those people be?
He had an assistant. His sister.
He ain't let her ass live nowhere
That's all
for
I
free.
can remember now.
Do you recall the name of the assistant?
Mm-hmm.
That part.
I don't know his name. He was referred to as Pig.
He was referred to by whom as Pig?
Johnny Depp.
She said they was dating for 7 months.
Either initially friends and then sexual with Mr. Depp.
Johnny, I can't.
Did you become aware that he drank to excess?
I was always
How you were aware of that?
He was drunk.
We're in court, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. We're in court.
A lot of the time.
He had to take off his sunglasses.
And that was applied both when you were initially friends and then later when it became sexual.
Yeah.
And what was he drunk? What was your understanding? What had he drunk to become drunk?
He was a red wine drinker.
Shout out to the ladies.
Okay. In addition to alcohol, were you aware at that time that Mr. Depp was taking any prescription medication?
No.
Okay. Same question, Mr. Barkin, for illegal substances.
Yes.
Same question. And what illegal substances?
hallucinogenics, cocaine, marijuana.
Hallucinogenics. Can you say specifically what those were?
I don't really know. He called me and told me he was tripping.
All right.
Tripping balls.
With respect to any of that, hallucinogenics, cocaine, or marijuana, did he do any of that in your presence?
Yes.
More than once?
All the time.
And you had some?
But you didn't know what it was?
All the time. How many times, again, in the period that you were both first friends and then sexual with Mr. Depp, do you think you saw him?
I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I just know he was always drinking. And
Johnny Depp is a whiskey man.
Smoking a joint.
But would it be fair to say more than at least dozens of times?
Yeah. Over the full course, oh yeah.
We haven't seen her since like Ocean's 13.
Did you ever observe
I gotta Google this chick
Ms.
now.
Barkin, Mr. Depp's behavior change when he drank more or used more drugs?
I did not.
So he was kind of the same all the time. Fair to say?
You remember Ocean's 13?
It's not the same.
When Al Pacino, when she was Mr. Depp. Well,
did there
she was
come a
Al Pacino's
time,
assistant.
Ms. Barkin, when Mr. Depp,
I agree. That was creative.
Acted in a way that was out of control with you?
Yes. Mr. Depp threw a wine bottle across the room, the hotel room on one instance in Las Vegas while we were shooting Fear and Loathing.
Oh my God.
In Las Vegas.
Were you
How far she has fallen?
about to happen?
A fight was going on.
Between you and Mr. Depp?
Oh my God, I can't let
Who
that
was the fight
pass.
between?
Between Depp and his friends in the room, the assistant. Honestly, I don't remember.
And the bottle that, do you remember sitting here today, Ms. Barkin, whether the bottle was full of wine or empty?
I don't.
Sitting here today, Ms. Barkin, do you remember whether the bottle hit you?
No, it did not.
Did the bottle hit anyone else?
No, it did not.
Approximately how far away from you was Mr. Depp when he threw the bottle?
Across the room. So maybe by that break in the table or a little further down.
All right, we're gonna take a mini intermission just to show people what it looked like for then and before, because that shocked me. That shocked me. All right, this is her right now. All right. Let me get that image zoom in there, that bad boy, so people can get that. Now this is her, Granny Goodness on the left. And there's the picture I remember her as. And poor Johnny is praying.
Tap the Ocean's 13 portion.
Okay. This is hard. This is horrific.
Longer.
And you just referenced, you just used the word jealous. How did that come up? What did he say that indicated to you that he was jealous?
He's just a jealous man, controlling. Where are you going? Who are you going with? What did you do last night? I had a scratch on my back once that got him very, very angry because he insisted it came from me having sex with a person who wasn't him.
During the time that you were in a sexual relationship with Mr. Depp, was it common for him to say things to you about being controlling, to use your words, or being jealous?
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's her. She used to be a whole freaking baddie. I ain't never been with a body. Johnny Depp has, apparently. I bet you regret that shit now. Ooh, child. She used to look great. Like, That's what a life of drugs and hard living will do to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. There's a splash of stress too. That is crazy.
Child, she looks so bad now. Listen, I keep telling people you don't have to like overeat and be unhealthy, but you need to eat. There needs to be some meat on your face. Like, oh, poor thing.
I don't know, Miss Creative. I disagree. I did not recognize until I had to Google her.
She still looks better than Amber Heard right now. I agree with Miss Creative on that. Yeah, she is aging, but she's not aging gracefully.
Yes.
She's not aging gracefully. Neither is Amber Heard, looking like a turd over there. But let's talk about it. Like, oh, I guess they're on a break right now?
Maybe that 15 minutes. Yep, they're doing that 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So we could talk for a few minutes before I have to take my little intermezzo from the broadcast. Why didn't he give Ellen Barkin somewhere to live for free? We know Johnny Depp is handing out homes. Now, I find it very convenient that she said that Johnny was drinking red wine. Since when? Everybody else that we've heard through this whole trial has said, like, yeah, he'll drink it, but that's not really his drink of choice. So where is this coming from? Oh, he only drinks red wine. You're lying. Listen, I don't. What you thinking about this?
I took notes on the first one when the other lady said she got called a BITCH, but she don't recall anything, but she would recall the BITCH. Like, clearly, she claimed that the slurring of the words reminded her of her children. So that had me to question, like, how old are your kids? that was like a problem. And then she said, yeah, she compared them to his children. Then there's another one. She again back to don't recall nothing. Only it's like everything she recalls that was damaging to Johnny. But
if you're not shopping on Wayfair,
she didn't recall anything else.
Out.
The selection is unreal.
And these are supposed to be people, I guess, supporting
Amber Heard.
Yeah, Amber Heard.
No.
But they're not doing her any.
Many times.
They're not doing her any justice because the testimony,
you know exactly
like low key, is making it that your video is still.
I do.
Oh, she's back on. Okay.
He promised you you would never see his eyes again. Isn't that true? I don't recall if he said that. One of the last times you ever saw Mr. Depp was when you met him in San Francisco.
No. This skipped to somewhere. Hold on. I'm sorry. This is a pre-recording, I believe.
That was the second to last time.
Okay.
That house is full though. Shout out to them. That's when you know you got real.
People going outside their way to come on through. I think today is day 20. Oh, okay, well, there's that.
Yeah, they're still on the break, ladies and gentlemen. Still on the break.
Yes. So, I mean, it's making her look really bad. The Disney production executive, she doesn't look great either. And she was trying to come in there feeling kind of smug, but her answers are very abrupt. She's shifting in that chair. She's drinking water. She can't. When she's seen the email thread, she couldn't deny it. Oh, I guess I read it. No,
I don't know how much water you're going to drink when that water was almost gone when she grabbed the first glass.
She was like...
Empty bottle. Empty bottle. Come on.
I'm going to get this last drop because the way my throat is closing up. I need it.
Excuse me, I'm parched. Excuse me.
But yes, the lies. It's the lies for me. Oh, and the people would only send us that because we're attached to Disney. You're low-key letting everybody know. You're getting every piece of press on Johnny Depp because you're attached. To say that he wasn't going to be offered a position in Pirate 6?
Lies.
y'all don't even have any Pirates movie without Jack Sparrow. I'm gonna tell you what. This is a shout out to Disney. Disney, I'm trying to tell you right now. Please don't spend your money trying to create another Pirates of the Caribbean movie. That movie is really recent. There's a couple of generations that like that movie and the characters that play, even the little babies like Jack Sparrow. You're going to have to wait 20 to 30 years to put out Pirates of the Caribbean 6. And because Johnny Depp won't come back, you guys can never give Jack Sparrow a true burial. And by definition, that brand is tarnished. Nobody's going to really watch it. You're not going to get anywhere near the numbers you got for the first 5.
Mm-hmm. And I will even go far as just say low key, if he passed away, that may be your only sneaky link shot to do something.
Right.
But you're still not going to get the same.
And he would have to pass away in real life because
yeah.
Don't try to write Jack Sparrow out to sea because we know better. We done seen Jack Sparrow come through too much. So y'all messed up, Disney.
Yes, it did.
And y'all sent the wrong person. Sent the wrong person to court. She made y'all look real dirty.
Somebody was off that day. I think that's what happened. Somebody took a vacation and that other guy stepped in on a sabbatical like, hey, I got this. I got this.
And then messed up the church's money.
So I feel like it's like a 3-parter. You got Disney trying to cover their tracks on their end, which they're doing a PP poor job of doing it. And then you got Amber Heard and her, since yesterday up to now, her quote unquote character witnesses. Like, I don't know. Because you can't tell me, and this is, I think the lawyer should have asked some little bit more depth questions with her, especially with the questioning of her about the drugs. Maybe they're going to cross her too. So we'll see. But shout out to Miss Crib because she asked a question. They was together, according to her, for 7-8 months, right? So sleeping together. So the way she explained it, I took it as y'all just going jack humping like rabbits. You know, you come to my house, I come to your house. So, and you're saying, oh, all the time using drugs, all the time drinking wine, all the time. So you mean to tell me somebody in my house, when I don't partake, we're gonna hear her side of it. But if I don't partake anything, I'm allow you to be sitting in my house, and I'm not either try something. No shrooms, no ganja, no cocaina, none of that.
Nothing. She has on her Star of David, so you know she's holy. L'chaim.
Shout out to you, Jedi Mike. He said I'm going to talk about this in my movie show. Sure. Jedi Mike was the one of the guys I was mentioning earlier that when we go and talk about the recap of the boys this coming June. She didn't have set a permanent date yet, but when she do, we're gonna give a heads up on everybody on the back end so we can go do that on her end because that's what I'm looking for. Low-key, I am a geek inside. Yes, there you go.
Yes, y'all will be inducted into the Hall of Marvelous Geeks. We will have an induction ceremony. Yes, it will be the boys.
I'm gonna find some because I told Jedi Mike I'm gonna try to find some if there's a female geeks out there if they can actually go toe to toe with these conversations. So looking forward to it either way.
Yes, we need a whole entourage. I'm tired of being out here by myself. I'm so tired of being.
Hey, that's how usually it goes. It's like we're little spots all over the place. Then when we slowly find one, and they're like, "Oh my god, you too!" I don't know. It's like it's a weird badge of honor. You can actually have to go to cosplay to find. Like we have to find each other. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So this is where my people are.
Oh god.
It's too funny. But yeah, like this is a whole shit show. Again, I don't really understand the defense. Like
a lot of deflection. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of deflection.
So you didn't actually read Amber Heard's op-ed. So Amber Heard's op-ed didn't influence your decision. But I don't think this jury is a stupid jury either.
No, I don't think so. It could be half and half. It could be half pro Johnny and half pro Amber. But I think the outcome is going to be in my favor. I think it's going to be for Johnny, and then he need to do after that. So that's my take on it. But to just just the witnesses. Like, I don't think the lawyers even prepped them right. Because even with the questions for the Disney representative, you ain't representing Disney, but well, technically you are because you just don't know nothing. So you're pretty much representing Disney pretty well. But with that being said, their lawyers, can you actually give the questions out first before you get on trial? Like, hey, these are questions going to be asked, so we'll know, or no, or just the lawyers?
Just lawyers. I mean, they kind of have to send you all the information.
Okay.
Like discovery, I think you have to like get sent the stuff that's pertinent to you so you can review it. And I think they do have some sessions in advance where they do pre-trial, like mock trial setups. But honestly, somebody didn't do it for her. First of all, that setup for, can we talk?
Sure.
Can we talk about it?
Sure.
Y'all.
Let's get it in. Let's get it in.
What's going on with Amber Heard's defense? Everybody that they are sitting there putting on camera as witness testimony, the cameras are not set up right at the appropriate angles. Everybody's talking down into the camera. The lighting is crappy. It's all very unprofessional settings. Even, the last time me and Angela's got together, the nose ring dude and the emo chick, the settings are just so unprofessional. I don't really understand what's going on. Is there no standard in the legal system anymore?
No.
Objection, speculation.
All
Leading
day.
hearsay.
It sounds like they're bad, but yeah, we learning a lot with the court jargon, and I will be using that a lot.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like something going on. That was quick. I know last time they told him an hour, and it was back like in 35 minutes.
Because that judge is over it. The judge is really trying to hurry up and let her people go. She's like, this is some bull.
How long you think this is gonna last? Like another week or two?
They had a whole week break. They had like a mid-season finale break. Like, listen, I hope this don't go on more than 2 more days. Like, enough. Why should we the people be tortured with their This Is Us story? Like, it did work. Hell. And let's talk about Ellen Barkin real quick too. So he threw a wine bottle at you. Y'all had an off and on relationship from the 90s to the 2000s. And you're just now telling that story with the wine bottle being thrown at you 22 plus years later. It doesn't make any sense.
Why not? They did it to Bill Cosby. Why not? 40 years ago.
Don't get me started on Bill Cosby because
I'm just saying.
Mic check 1 2.
Oh, he doing that mic check.
2,
okay.
3, 4.
Okay.
Check 2 3.
Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and call it. I think he's black.
Okay. Microphone checker, Supreme Net Protector. He was about to go in. But with Bill Cosby.
That Mike said next month. That's he's guesstimating. Next Monday.
I hope it's wrapped up by Friday, but we'll see. We will see. The jury might have to be held out for the weekend. Hopefully not, but Lord willing. But what they did to Bill Cosby, they did that because he was about to buy a network.
Correct.
Okay.
I agree.
What?
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, hello.
Fox News ain't nothing. Oh, that's right. Fox News.
Really happy to be back in Polk County. And I want to thank everyone that we have with us today for today's bill signing. We have, of course, the sheriff of Polk County,
you have another tab open.
We also have,
Okay.
No, wait a minute. Because when you pause it, they stop. So what the hell? They have the tab open. What they got going on?
Safer county here than many other places around the country because they're doing it right. We also have from Seminole County, Sheriff Dennis Lee.
This is Fox, everybody.
Fox with the shoddy productions.
Let's see what's going on with CBS.
I hate see-through camis that aren't flattering.
Oh my God.
All right, we're good. Nice and quiet.
Nice and silent.
I don't know what Fox is doing. Hey, this is just more evidence how Fox do you.
Playing the game. Somebody call the people at Fox.
I swear. All right, I got you, Jedi. Copy that, sir.
Yo. I'm so tired.
What kind of pizza I'm eating? Thank you for asking. Pepperoni cheese pizza.
First of all, I don't even appreciate you eating pepperoni pizza right now.
Well, you was eating first, so you know what? You made me hungry.
But I was eating like honey oats, like snacking on some cereals. And
Oh,
it's funny because as you said you was going to get pizza, I was ordering the kids' snack for after school. Guess what their snack is?
pizza?
Yes,
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
from that vegan place.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Let him get it in. Let him get it in.
Vegan pizza is great, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, I thought vegan cheese was horrible, and I have seen the light. It is not that bad. Vegan dough.
Because I had a conversation with somebody was like they're lactose intolerant. I was like, well, there's other types of milk you can drink if you're a milk drinker. So shout out to options.
That part. Almond milk is good. Coconut milk, oat milk, A12 milk.
There's a lot of taxpayer money in Virginia.
It is. They're rich.
Shout out to Jedi Mike for stopping in. So Jedi Mike, you will be tagging in for Raw Be Privilege.
Yes, and I will be back in a little while. Jedi Mike, hold it down. POP, objection.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna be here. So yeah, as I mentioned, I'm currently in Fairfax, Virginia. That's where I live right now, just because I'm going to George Mason. But also, this is literally happening down the street, because just down the street, that's where City Hall is. So this is literally happening. I have friends of mine who are actually like waiting with the people with the fans outside the courtroom and everything like that. But I will say this, for someone who's in like on my channel, I talk about the movies and stuff like that, and I'll be currently. I didn't want to get any information, like do a live stream until I get all the information that we're getting here right now, especially when it comes to corporations like Warner Brothers and Disney. But one thing I thought was very interesting was that as you're watching this, is that Amber Heard her cross examination that, well, now in her deposition that she did, I think about last week, she went in talking about Aquaman. And one thing that you guys have not noticed, they have been doing petitions, online petitions, when they do this all the time. But this one was very significant. They were asking to recast her, Amber Heard, from Aquaman 2. And even though James Wan, really didn't pay attention to that or whatever, so we thought he didn't pay attention to it. But really what they did was they minimized her role. And that's what she revealed and about her contract to Warner Brothers. Now, one thing you should not be doing is revealing your contract in those situations. So for me, I'm thinking this is the last time we'll see her. I do believe she'll be recast. If not, and if they do a third Aquaman, should definitely be recast. Because this situation, what she did, she basically just kind of took a huge dump on Warner Brothers. No pun intended.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think also with the situation of when she was being questioned about uh uh whether any terms of damages, because that's the countersuit that she's getting in. She's saying she's getting like damages because she's not getting any employment of work. However, she specified, if you look at it, saying that, well, I can't tell what jobs I'm not offered XYZ. But yet we can see what Johnny, what he's lost. He lost Pirates Caribbean 6. They canceled that, and he stepped down from the role of Fantastic Beasts. I think there was a Secrets of Dumbledore, the recent one, and they had to recast him with the actor Mac Mickelson for his character Grindelwald. So it's a huge thing about, like, he is on record losing opportunities of his job based on this situation. So I think hopefully it's not the mean. Hopefully we get this trial, the verdict of saying he'd be on Johnny's side. I'm more concerned on Johnny's career after this and what happens now. Will he get more opportunities? Would Disney be like, hey, sorry, bruh, we gotta do whatever? or whatever it might be like that. But I hope, for me, I'm more focused on the aftermath of this trial, particularly in terms of his career. But yeah.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. And shout out to the judge, though. Honestly, I can,
Yeah.
Seriously, like I know we keep talking about, Neil and and Johnny Amber, but like the worst case scenario, this night we could have a judge that was very, very biased in this and this, but like she's very objective in his opinion.
Right, shout out to Robbie. She said she meets the 5 points criteria.
Who?
I'm guessing she's referring to the judge.
She said he.
Oh, I'm sorry, he.
Yeah. But yeah, because I want to do a show about the aftermath of this and stuff. But like you and I, we already talked about this. The whole questioning about, well, especially with her sister and the other folks, like, did you do literally drugs in her criteria? And I think it was in her wedding or whatever, saying, hey, okay, we're going to have the reception, then we have drugs. Like, well, we didn't do anything of that. Like, did you do drugs? Well, I mean, we did other things and stuff like that. Deflection.
Yeah. Because I really can't see it, bro. Real talk. If you come in my house, I don't care if it's a chick or guy, and for 7 months straight, and you're doing all types of narcotics and whatever in my home, and I'm not gonna sample something 7 months plus straight.
Right. Exactly. And the thing I think under Amber is just understand, at least admit to say, hey, yeah, we did do drugs, because at least you're just being honest with that. I understand that she said if she admits to it, then it looked like she's trying to control her, her image in this situation. Like she's never done, drugs in her life, and Johnny's just the dopamine. If like we understand celebrities, you do drugs. So the whole thing of them pandering, Johnny did drugs. I'm like, all right, and Bobby Brown and other folks. Like, come on, like nothing new. So don't tell.
Heck, even in the state of California, you're pretty much, weed is like free. So where we going with that conversation?
Don't even. Mm-hmm. Oh, and also shout out to Camille on the when she was talking about his, Amber's ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Lesbian couples are very, very high in domestic violence. That is statistically proven, especially during the pandemic. So that's.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Your Honor, we call Dr. Alan Blaustein.
All right.
Blaustein.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, and I'm asking questions first. I believe I may be the only one asking questions.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Can you please provide your full name?
Alan Scott Blaustein.
You're a doctor, correct?
Correct.
And you're a psychiatrist?
What kind of doctor?
Yes.
Okay.
How long have you been a psychiatrist for?
Since 1987.
And you went to medical school?
Yes.
What medical school did you go to?
Northwestern University.
Now, Johnny Depp was a patient of yours, correct?
Correct.
You understood that Mr. Depp had substance dependence issues, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recall what substance issues, what substances Mr. Depp had issues with?
Marijuana, alcohol, opiates, I believe.
Did you ever have an understanding that Mr. Depp had anxiety syndrome?
I knew Mr. Depp had anxiety.
And how did you come to be aware that Mr. Depp had anxiety?
She told me that.
Do you recall having any conversation that Mr. Depp was bipolar?
There was some question about bipolar disorder diagnosis, but I do not remember any specifics about the discussion.
Do you recall having a conversation with Mr. Depp about a bipolar diagnosis?
No.
What behaviors did Mr. Depp acknowledge that should be changed?
Look at this doctor's routing him out. This is bullshit. Look at all this.
Now therapy is out the window now.
Right, exactly. Confidentiality, my ass.
In working with Mr. Depp, would you agree that Mr. Depp had fundamental issues with anger?
I would say that he expressed having issues with anger.
Mr. Depp expressed having issues with anger? Did Mr. Depp express having issues of anger towards Amber?
He expressed having anger towards her. Yes.
Do you recall what reasons Mr. Depp told you as to why he was expressing anger towards Amber?
I can't, no, I'll have to say no.
In working with Mr. Depp, was he ever suspicious of Amber having affairs?
I can recall now he expressed feelings of jealousy. But I don't remember if it was about affairs.
Do you recall any more detail about what Mr. Depp was feeling jealousy toward Amber about?
No.
In working with Mr. Depp, did you see that Mr. Depp had any issues with patience?
Yes, he was impatient.
What is your understanding about issues that Mr. Depp had with Amber?
It was a very chaotic relationship with a lot of fluctuations and ups and downs and lots of difficulty and emotional expressions.
Yeah, but even still, should that even matter, Robbie, if he's in a subpoena?
In both places, and high intensity affect and emotional expression. A lot of love, a lot of disappointment, a lot of fears.
I believe, he was jealous, but like, you telling me what, you being jealous of your wife sleeping with other men is
Do you
wrong?
recognize this document?
Yes.
What is it?
It's my invoice billing document.
This is from your files?
Correct.
And you keep this document in the ordinary course of business?
Correct.
And this billing invoice is for Johnny Depp, correct?
Correct.
That is true, Creative. That is true, Miss
So
Creative.
where it says 10/2/14 from your billing records, would this be is this your understanding the first time you met with Mr. Depp?
By phone, yes.
And in total, if we look at the number of sessions you either met or spoke to Mr. Depp that weren't canceled or he didn't show up, my count, it comes to 18 times you met with Mr. Depp. Does that sound about right?
Looks like 18 times.
I'm wondering how
Do
much you
have
got
any
paid.
concerns about any of the amounts of medications
Good
that
question.
Mr. Depp was taking?
I had concerns about the Adderall that I would have expressed to him.
And what were the concerns about the Adderall?
I don't recall the specific conversations, but I would have been asking about how he was diagnosed to have ADHD, or under what circumstances he would take that, especially if he wasn't currently working.
Did you ever talk to Mr. Depp about what he did when Marilyn Manson would visit?
No.
When you were working with Mr. Depp, did you have any understanding whether Mr. Depp was still abusing drugs and alcohol or not?
Yes.
But you do recall that there were times in your working with Mr. Depp where he had breakthrough uses of drugs or alcohol.
Yeah, that his relative sobriety was not complete. Yes.
And that's what you mean by breakthrough usage, that his sobriety, Mr. Depp's sobriety, was not complete?
Well, relative sobriety. Again, I said relative sobriety because he did continue to use marijuana throughout, almost entirely throughout the time that I knew him, with a short time exception, I think. So I call it relative sobriety. Then there'd be some breakthrough uses of other substances.
Okay. And when you say breakthrough usage, just so everyone understands, what do you mean by that?
He was trying to be sober. He was working on sobriety. And by breakthrough uses, I mean sobriety would mean the abstinence of using the substance. And so the breakthrough would be on a particular time he would have used the substance that he was trying to be sober of, abstinent of.
Okay. So in addition to marijuana, in the time that you saw Mr. Depp from October of 2014 through January of 2015, there were times where Mr. Depp broke his sobriety with drugs or alcohol in addition to marijuana, correct?
I believe so, yes.
How did you come to that understanding?
He would have told me.
Do you know why Mr. Depp stopped seeing you?
I know he was preparing to leave to Australia to go to work, and I assumed that was the reason.
But he hasn't returned to you since he went to Australia in 2015, correct?
Right.
And did anyone inform you as to why he stopped seeing you?
No.
Last seen Exhibit 9 are notes reflecting your care of Mr. Depp, correct?
Right.
And you kept these notes in the ordinary course of business, correct?
Correct.
And you kept these notes in a file for Mr. Depp, correct?
Correct.
And this is page 1 of those notes from October 2nd, 2014, correct?
Correct. Again, there will be plenty of places where I don't remember, I can't read what they say. They are for my current attention purposes only in these particular notes.
Okay.
And that's what makes them process notes.
In working with Mr. Depp, did he discuss any abuse he received as a child or an adolescent?
Yes.
And do you recall any difficulties that Mr. Depp was talking to you about in his relationship with his fiance?
No, not from this.
What does it say?
Such a pain in the ass.
Do you recall why he was saying Amber was a pain in the ass?
No.
Okay. And what's the next thing say?
Well, in boxes about his kid's mom.
No, you're absolutely right. This is an absolute violation of the HIPAA law. That's absolute violation.
Destructive.
What was destructive?
How did it get a hold of him to be okay with doing this?
Something relationship 14 to 15 years, mother of my kids.
He probably didn't know him as creative. Snakes in the grass.
Officially.
Snakes in the grass.
He didn't want to be his dad. Thinking I'm not abandoning like his dad. And then below kids, it says clear, better. She needed me to be all this. Needed me to be all this week or all this work. I don't know.
If we turn to the next page.
Yeah.
It says page 2.
You guys, yeah, assume after this trial.
He got a list.
And then what's the next
Johnny
one?
got a list of
Honestly,
everybody.
I'm
This
like,
is
I'm
the
crazy.
violence, rage that we've had over a couple of years.
Okay, and so what is Mr. Depp referring to there?
I don't recall.
So do you recall that in working with Mr. Depp that he spoke about violence and rage in other relationships in addition to his relationship with Amber?
Or rage and chaos. I don't remember violence, but I can remember rage and chaos. Now, again, the context of this is I had met him at this point. So this is an initial telephone consultation. So to see whether or not he was going to start therapy with me.
But in your working with Mr. Depp, was he talking about rage and chaos with relationships in addition to his relationship with Amber, correct?
Yes, yes.
What other relationships was he talking about rage and chaos?
Again,
the one I'm about to do with you.
Oh
man!
And arguments about not child custody, child care, or visitation, or access to the children. On the left, it says raise 2 kids, 15 and 12. And then below that, she tried to protect me. She tried to protect me too.
You know what that's referring to?
My association now is his sister, but I don't think that's true. I don't have a specific recollection, no. Wouldn't take fear, wake up to fight devil. Wait up to fight devil.
You know what that's referring to? Wait up to fight devil?
I think he referred to a devil as some version of internal depression and chaos that he felt, something like an everyday phenomenon. He felt he was struggling. And he, I think, would label that as a devil.
So Mr. Depp labeled it's something that was internal to him as the devil?
As a representation of something horrible inside of himself, what I would say.
So the devil was something horrible inside of himself, correct? That's what Mr.
Again, I don't think he ever said that, so I'm going to be
Don't say
careful
that,
here.
man.
The devil was the
I would love
representation
to know how
of the
long he
battle
been
that he had
practicing.
many days when he woke up with the depression and
Yes, we got
anxiety
demons, doesn't
and
mean.
fears that he had.
Did Mr. Depp ever refer to himself as a monster?
Remember the word monster in my office, but I don't know if it's referring to himself or not. Maybe that'll be more revealed as we go forward.
Now, turning to Blaustein 12, which is page 4 of this exhibit, and there's a 3 at the top, correct?
Yeah.
And then to the right, that says Amber fiance, correct?
Correct.
And then there's
work through anger just below that.
And where it's saying work through anger, is that referring to his anger towards Amber?
I think what he was saying then is that part of his goal of therapy was to work through anger that he and his fiance had towards each other. Then going back to the left, better with girl about it.
So you calling yourself, he refers himself as a monster because Depp is calling he's dealing with mental issues, therefore he's a monster?
You know what self-destructive?
Yeah, we're all
Hard not
monsters.
to put in front of me.
You're right, yes,
That's
right.
referring to.
I think the self-destructive was his drug use. That's what I think referring to at this time.
I'm now looking at Blaustein 13, page, which has a page 4. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And at the top it says Johnny/Debbie, correct?
Correct.
All right. And then the date, it says 10/what?
That's 10/7.
And so it says JD 10/21/14, correct?
Correct. A lot of things, work, intense work, fatigue. Need a minute. Here I can say with certainty his words, shit with my girl.
And what's that referring to?
Difficulty he was having with Amber.
Do you recall what he was talking about, what difficulty he was having with, Mr. Depp was having with
I'm
Amber?
pray on you, Johnny.
Yeah.
The next line looks like it says she refuses to accept.
Correct.
Do you know what Amber refuses to accept? What Mr. Depp was referring to?
Yeah, clean the shit off my goddamn bed you sleep
to the
on.
right,
Fuck
it
out of
says
here.
Amber,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You clean this shit. We ain't getting the
Amber
maid.
wedding.
Were you talking at this point about potentially Mr. Depp and Amber marrying?
Yes, he was talking about that. Yes.
Okay. And then what does it say under she refuses to accept?
Wedding February.
And then what's next?
And this is a horrible commercial for therapy, ladies and gentlemen.
Want
This is
to
not
go to marriage.
accurate depiction.
51
I will
years
tell you
old.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, do your vetting, do your research on folks, because also,
Were there
like
any
just like
discussions that you had
therapy,
with
just like you
Mr.
going
Depp,
to doctor. Not every doctor might be good for
where
you.
he had concerns
but
about the age
this
difference
is not
between him
an
and
accurate
Amber?
depiction of what a mental clinician should be doing to a patient like
I don't
this.
think so.
Absolutely not. And someone who has gone through that, this is a direct
What
violation.
does it say under 51
Correct.
years old?
I'm very disappointed.
A lot of life experiences. You're being my mother and psychotic sister.
What did you understand Mr. Depp was referring to where you wrote "You're being my mother and psychotic sister"?
I think that's something that he said to. He told me. He said to her that he was.
That Mr. Depp said to Amber, "You're being my mother and psychotic sister."
That's what I would think. Yes.
Okay.
So how that make him a demon again?
Right.
And the next line.
High tolerance for marijuana.
Who has a high tolerance for marijuana?
He did.
70% of Americans.
Turning to the next page, which is Blaustein 15, and where I have a number 5 on the top there. What is it? Something?
Self-destructed very early.
And was Mr. Depp talking about himself being self-destructive very early?
Yes.
Okay. How is Mr. Depp describing that he was self-destructive?
I think, I don't recall, but let's continue and maybe something's there.
So he was trying to be sober from booze and pills, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then was it you who said reward?
Yeah, asking him about where can he get rewards elsewhere? Where did he get reward? I maybe asked him where did he get rewards elsewhere?
That
and
part.
There he said in the past, MDMA, ecstasy, cocaine.
So what did you understand where he wrote MDMA, ecstasy, cocaine?
I'm not quite sure, but those are things that he had used in the past. Yeah, there's raised another possibility that I had asked him specifically about that, but I don't think so. I think it's more likely that those were things he had used in the past.
Do you know what pills Mr. Depp was referring to be sober from?
I know oxycodone was the main thrust of that time.
Shout out to you and Social Podcast. Appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button if y'all haven't. Hit the likes. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and that's probably a note to myself to try to get back to a reward loop mechanism, and it's parallel to a relationship. What kinds of rewards could come back to him that could be healthy? What kinds of rewards that could come from the relationship that could be healthy? And then talk about biology changes. So I made a note to myself there.
Like, if you read notes, he don't even remember what he wrote down.
Changes in the face of.
He's a professional, sir. You leave him alone.
Many of these drugs over time.
Did you talk with Mr. Depp at all that his brain can change as he continues to take these drugs?
Yes, I did.
And then it says 10/27/14.
More on relationship issues, being accused, in his word, of being manic, grounded by seeing children. Son is one of the positive aspects of the relationship. I assume he's talking about his past relationship there.
Johnny Pryor
Mr.
drawing
Depp
little
was saying
horns
Amber
with a
reminded him of
notepad.
his mom and his psychotic sister.
But the relationship reminded him of his relationship with his psychotic sister. And
These notes are worse than middle school, guys.
I'm
I
trying to see
take
what's
better
the point of
notes than
this. Yeah,
I
I'm-
take better notes than this, man, in college.
That
Like this is
he was being accused of being manic.
yes,
Did he say who accused him of being manic?
I assume from this it was Amber.
Turn to the next page.
Takes
Blaustein
one to know one.
16.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and this is 10/29/14 at the top.
Mood euthymic.
What does that mean?
Attention. Normal mood. Attention decreased.
You mean by attention
memory
decreased?
Difficulty with attention, paying attention. Memory, transitional difficulties.
And what do you mean by having transitional difficulties with his memory?
It would have been part of a maybe mental status test that I would have done in the first session, where he
it's
would
beating
have trouble,
over a dead horse, honestly. There's no new
holding on
information
to
that we're hearing that's not.
memory of things from 5 minutes ago.
We understand,
If I
yeah,
had
yeah, different
asked him
challenge from drug
to
abuse, like
remember
we get
3
it.
words.
Yeah,
He may have had difficulty.
That's not
He would
like
have had
I understand
difficulty
that, but it's
remembering
different
those 10
from
words
Amber's
5 minutes
cross-examination
later
because
after
what we're
distracting
doing
him with other
is that
conversations.
we're trying to identify things that
And
she's
then what does
being
it say after
deceptive
that?
of that we already got in a deposition. With this, it's already been identified. He admitted that, yes, I've done drugs.
THC.
They're not
marijuana
denying
is
that at
not
all.
an issue. Tetrahydrocannabinol. That's what THC stands for.
So you saw THC as an issue with Mr. Depp's memory and attention, is that right?
Well, with the transitional memory, at least, yes. Perhaps the attention. MSE, mental status examination. More present, more attention. Off on dates. When I would ask him about what today might be, what today's date was, perhaps.
And
is
even
what
then,
that's
Johnny's
referring
team
to.
got still got more time
Mr.
than,
Depp was
than
off
Amber
on
does.
What date that
on
was.
date. Turning to the next page, Blaustein 17. It says JD at the top and then 11/10/14. See that?
Yep, I have that.
Okay. And Mr. Depp came in to see you on 11/10/14.
Correct.
Okay. And what's the first line say?
Some clouding, probably secondary to THC.
What do you mean by clouding?
Would have been something in confusion or something about his mental state, or less sharp, less alert, perhaps.
What's the next line say?
It says no evidence of mania, hypomania.
What do you mean by that?
I didn't see in his presentation any evidence of mania or hypomania.
Okay. Next line.
Discussion about relationships, core issues of trust. Amber says context, contact. Don't know.
Okay.
Fruitless meeting with her therapist.
Did you ever observe Mr. Depp with mania or hypomania in any of your other sessions?
Not that I recall.
At 10/24/14, Mr. Depp came in for another individual session, correct?
11/24/14.
The first line says 15 minutes late.
15 minutes late. Clear. Relationship stabilizing. Looking at jealous parts of him.
mean by that? Looking at jealous parts of him.
Just on it.
Things that make him jealous and what his role might be in jealousy.
And what made Mr. Depp jealous?
Well, about what was happening there with Amber, I don't know. I can't recall. You see, in my next notice, it was a triggering point. In my next notice, triggering point, early breakup at 22, where an actress cheated with a leading man.
So was Mr. Depp jealous of Amber being with other men?
I don't remember that specifically.
Okay. And turning to Blaustein 18, which looks like it starts at 12/7/14.
Yeah.
Mr. Depp came in for an individual session.
Correct.
And then it looks like you have paranoia in quotes.
Would have been his word. And what he meant by that, the elements were fear, envy, and vigilance.
So Mr. Depp told you something about paranoia?
Well, as he defined it.
And his elements of paranoia were fear, envy, and vigilance, as he told you. Then there's what's the next day? 12/18/14?
Yeah, let's see. 12/18/14, yes.
And Mr. Depp came in for a session.
Yes. Patient working. So psychotherapy.
It sound like on his end.
It's possible it was a phone session.
That's what it sound like.
Didn't mark as a phone session. Big fight with girlfriend yesterday. Struggling with how to separate. Let her tell you her feelings. Relationship needs to take care of you.
Was it worth it, Johnny?
To go to a safe
Was it worth it?
withdraw. Different than childhood experiences.
And then it's at 1/6/15, correct?
Correct.
And what are these notes say?
The worst
Late,
pee
20
ever.
minutes. Positive hypnotherapy session. Goals to make a beeline to bed. Using relationship to take care of the individuals. Let's see.
Saw a little feedback on your end, Jedi.
Attached to Amber's.
I don't know if you got a fan blowing or something on it.
Yeah, I have my fan going in the back. It's hot as yeah.
Oh, you're good. It's not bad. I just noticed it.
Sobriety continuing.
And then Blaustein 20. Move down to the last page. And this is for 1/8/15, just to be clear.
1/8/15.
I really don't know what kind of medical records because he kept repeating the same thing for the past 30 plus minutes.
Minutes. It's not. Yeah.
That probably related to your prior question that there was a woman who admired her that he felt jealous of. Let's see, the next thing is something of vulnerability. Instances of vulnerability and internal fear parallel to vulnerability in childhood. Inability. Free or fight, only way.
What does that mean? Free or fight, only way?
Free or fight, or free and fight is the only way. And my understanding of that is either that
you can't read your goddamn notes. Like this is like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
With Amber through dash vulnerability.
Did and 1/8/15 was the last time you saw or spoke to Mr. Depp as a patient, correct?
I believe that's true.
Did Mr. Depp describe to you at all how his jealousy would present itself? whether he was jealous of a man or a woman in relation to Amber?
It would make him angry. It would make him feel insecure.
Bro.
Your next witness.
Your Honor, our next
Look
witness
at
is
her.
Eric George. He was the
Look
attorney
at her.
relating to the op-ed.
Will you please
And guys, this is a thing that just also you understand with the psychiatry and client privilege is like this thing is like, and I don't know what the like. I'm in Virginia. The laws about this is not be different in other states there, but like, yes, you know, psychiatrists and therapists they
And
can
could you
reveal certain
also state your
information, but
business address,
as we
please?
mentioned before, like, yeah, this
21,
guy he just airing all
21
his
Avenue
dirty
of the
laundry out.
Stars, Suite
This
2800,
is a direct
Los
violation
Angeles,
of the
California,
I think it's called
90067.
the
And what
psychiatrist
is
and
the name
client
of the
privilege. I
law
forgot the
firm that
name of
you
it,
work
but yeah,
with?
that's
It's
They were saying
Brown,
HIPAA on the chat.
BROWNE, George, Ross, O'Brien, Anagway, and Ellis.
And you are an attorney, Mr. George?
I am.
And I take it from the name of the firm that you are one of the named partners?
I am indeed.
Okay. What are your areas of practice?
Litigation, largely in the business and entertainment areas.
Have you handled defamation and libel matters?
I have.
Where are you barred? In other words, what states are you a member of the bar?
Sure. In California, New York, and Washington, D.C.
And are you also a member or barred in the United States Supreme Court?
I am.
Can you please tell us where you attended undergraduate and law school?
Sure.
That's right. Tell him Brenda's
Georgetown
free.
For
Click your
both
finger.
undergrad and law school.
What, if any, service did you have with the Council of the United States Senate Judiciary Committee?
Sure. I'm just pausing to get my dates correct here. In approximately March of 1999, I began service as counsel to the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee, where I served through about mid-2000.
And what, if any, service did you have to the Secretary, the Legal Affairs Secretary to the Governor, Pete Wilson?
Sure. From about March 1997 to January of 1999, I was counsel to then Governor Pete Wilson, and my specific title was Deputy Legal Affairs Secretary.
Have you been recognized for your career achievements since you have been an attorney?
I'll say immodestly, yes, various ways that lawyers are from time to time in magazines and publications and whatnot.
And what, if any, recognition have you received as one of the top 100 attorneys in California?
The legal paper annually puts out a list of the top 100 attorneys in California, and I've been fortunate to be selected as one of those for many years.
And what, if any, recognition have you had as being a super lawyer in California?
Same answer, except that's, I believe it's called Los Angeles Lawyer magazine. I could have that wrong, but again, annually they put out a list of their super lawyers.
All right. And are you also a member of the American College of Trial Lawyers?
I am.
What is one of the qualifications for becoming a member, being invited to be a fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers?
Sure. So the college reaches out to individual lawyers who have distinguished themselves and generally occupy the top 1% of law practice. And it's an organization dedicated to the development of professionalism within the practice of law.
I'm going to now turn to Amber Heard, and I'm going to ask you, Mr. George, how long have you known Amber Heard?
I have known Amber Heard, gosh, it's got to be a good 5 years.
I'm going to be referring to an op-ed, and I'm going to use the term op-ed. It's obviously an opinion editorial that Amber Heard ended up ultimately publishing with the ACLU. And so in the Washington Post, December 18, 2018. So as I go through and ask these questions, I'm going to be using just the term op-ed. Will you be comfortable with me using op-ed and understand it to mean that particular publication on December 18, 2018?
No.
Sure.
So what, if any, legal representation did you provide to Ms. Heard relating to the op-ed?
She presented to me a draft of the op-ed and asked for my counsel in terms of reviewing it, editing it, and finalizing it for publication.
When is the first time Amber Heard reached out to you in connection with the op-ed and reviewing the op-ed?
It was certainly within the time frame of December 6, 2018.
In connection with the op-ed, what, if anything, was your objective in representing Amber Heard with respect to the review and revision of the op-ed?
I reviewed it and spent some significant time on it to make sure that there would be no meritorious claim that could be brought against her in connection with a defamation or related type of tort claim. And ideally, with that in mind, to minimize the possibility of her ever being sued in connection with publishing it.
So, Mr. George, I'm going to ask you to take a look at exhibit number 9.
Look at her.
Yes,
Are you familiar with this document?
I am.
Please describe what it is.
So, guys, just to give you clarification, this is one of the Amber Heard's attorneys, right? And they're being interviewed or being crossed-in by another attorney, or her attorneys. Just
Were you
to give you
familiar
clarification right
with
there.
this document
Appreciate
and
that,
its
sir.
contents when you represented Amber Heard relating to the review of the op-ed?
Yes.
And what was your objective in representing and advising Amber Heard on the op-ed in connection with this stipulated judgment of dissolution of marriage?
So my objective was to make sure that there would be no meritorious claim that could be brought against Ms. Heard in connection with the publication of an op-ed, whether that is a tort related to, say, defamation or something akin to it, but also including any contract-based breach claim arising in connection with the judgment.
And what, if any, indications did you have from Amber Heard during that time frame that Amber did not intend to follow your advice or did not care if she was in a compromising position or might be at legal risk?
So let me answer that this way. Really 2 points. Number one, there was never anything that she said to me to the effect that she was willing to run some risk of being sued or that she wouldn't listen to my counsel or anything of that sort. Number two, that she affirmatively did follow in all instances my counsel with respect to these particular edits.
What, if any, legal advice provided by you to Amber Heard respecting the Washington Post op-ed was disregarded by Amber Heard?
None, to my knowledge.
What, if any, legal advice provided by you to Amber Heard respecting the Washington Post op-ed was followed by Amber Heard?
All of it.
What, if any, legal advice did you provide to Amber Heard in connection with the drafting and publication of the op-ed that was not made in good faith by you?
I acted in good faith throughout and with the best of my abilities.
All right, your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor, we have Jessica Kovacevic. She's Amber's agent, and that's approximately 27 minutes.
Go ahead and spell the last name for me.
That's a tough one. Kovacevic.
All right. Thank you.
And I want to make this very clear. So what you guys just saw, that was very, very important, because you have to understand Amber Heard is being sued for $50 million, and this whole thing because of the article that she submitted to that attorney, right?
Do you know
That attorney that we just saw recently, right?
today,
And now his job was to review that
capacity and
article
also
and
as
say,
a
hey, you're good.
representative
But now
of
she's
your
being sued for
agency,
$50 million.
WME?
This is very important, because guess what? If
Mr.
she's being
Kovacevic,
sued
what
and
do you do
because of that article that he was supposed to review and give him the green light,
Would you
this
please
can cost her,
describe in
a
just
case
very
for $50
general
million,
terms
because
what a
the fact
talent
that
agent
he's
does?
now saying, well, there's some
Generally,
errors,
you
whatever. But it
procure
was
work,
his job to review and say,
for
hey,
your
you're good, you're
clients.
in the clear. You cannot be sued for this. So I'm saying what he said was very important. Just watch that.
their deals.
And I take it Ms. Heard is one of your clients.
Yes.
Did Ms. Heard have a successful career at the time you began working with her?
Yes.
And over the
What
period
career?
that you've worked with Ms. Heard as her agent, what have your job responsibilities entailed?
Like I mentioned before, introducing her to producers and directors, writers, studio executives, procuring work for her, introducing her to people that can employ her, and then negotiating her deals, and then dealing with whatever happens on while she is working, anything that arises that needs dealing with.
Did you ever at any point in time see Mr. Depp hit Ms. Heard?
No.
Were you working with Ms. Heard when she was cast in the original Aquaman?
She was cast in Justice League first, and then the deal was to be in Justice League, the first Aquaman and the second Aquaman.
Did you assist Ms. Heard in procuring the role
Horrible.
of Mira in Aquaman?
Yes.
Was Aquaman a successful movie?
Extremely.
$1 billion office.
Was Ms. Heard's performance in the film well received critically?
Yes.
Bullshit.
Were there any negative views about Ms. Heard's performance in Aquaman?
In the press, you mean? Or what do you mean specifically?
Well, in the press or otherwise.
No, there weren't any negative.
As her
I'm gonna
talent
wait till she
agent,
finishes. I got
did you
no.
attempt to renegotiate Ms. Heard's salary?
She ain't being
for
honest about
Aquaman
that.
2?
Yes.
When did you do that?
We did that around this time last year.
Why did you attempt to renegotiate it at all?
It's standard to renegotiate these types of deals. It's normal practice. When when Aquaman came out, it was the most successful movie of all time ever.
No.
So even
Clarify,
more so
ma'am.
for that reason. But for any successful franchise movie, when you make a 3 or 4 picture deal like we did in success, it's typical to go back and renegotiate the deal.
And now getting to your point, why did you choose to do it last year at this time?
Because that's when her option was exercised.
And when you did get around to trying to negotiate, you and WME successful in doing that?
Correct.
When did he call Warner Brothers to renegotiate the next film?
It would have been the end of February last year.
What year was that? 2021?
Yes.
At some point, were there press reports that Ms. Heard was getting released from Aquaman 2?
There were online rumors for a while that she was being replaced.
Yes, but that's not.
When
That's
did you
not.
first hear about this?
First, I don't know exactly when, but it was way before. It was way before this. It was maybe even a year before this. 6 months before, maybe.
So nobody ever told you that Warner Brothers misrepresented the reason that they were replacing Miss Heard, correct?
Why? No, why would they?
Did there come a time when Miss Heard was restored to her role in Aquaman 2?
Yes.
At that time, what were the terms of her restoration to Aquaman 2?
The financial terms?
Yes.
She was going to be making $2 million on the second film.
Was that consistent with the original contract?
Yes.
Is this consistent with what Warner Brothers originally gave as the rationale for not using her in Aquaman 2?
The lack of chemistry between her and Jason?
Yes.
Yes.
So did there come a time when WME came to understand that Ms. Heard's role as Mira in Aquaman 2 was diminished in some way?
When she was sent the script, directly, which is the common practice for these films.
You're aware that Ms. Heard has a contract with L'Oreal, correct?
Yes.
Were you working with Ms. Heard when she signed that contract?
Yes.
What's a bot?
A
Look
bot
at her.
is a fake account that's created to execute a certain objective.
What is your educational background since high school?
College.
What college did you attend?
NYU.
What year did you graduate?
2005.
What was your major?
Communications.
When WME first began working with Ms. Heard as her talent agent, you said she had had some success. How well known was Ms. Heard?
She was pretty famous. She was within the industry. You could call anyone and they knew who she was. So she had a certain level of fame. She had starred in movies and shows already by that point.
Okay, going back and taking a wider
I can't wait to-
lens, over the time that the several years you've worked with Ms. Heard, how would you characterize the arc of her career?
I would say she was a known actress when I started working with her. Like I said, she was someone that you could call executives and producers and people about everyone, knew her name. She hadn't yet reached big star status, but she was definitely, she could get the lead of an independent movie. She could get the lead of a TV series. When I worked with her, we slowly started to strategically, have her work on some more prestigious projects and work with, better directors. And
You were in Zombieland. What the fuck are you talking about?
Turning point for her. And then Aquaman, subsequently was obviously the biggest thing she had ever been a part of.
Thank you, Zack Snyder.
And
Pineapple
is
Express.
The arc of her career now
Magic
on the
Mike.
upswing with her being part of Aquaman 2?
No.
Tell me what you mean. Why not?
Because typically, when you have an actor who is in a movie as successful as Aquaman was, their career totally changes. And they're in a different echelon. They, get way more offers. They're just put in a different place, position-wise with studios. They're more bankable, so they can.
But she
greenlight
played the
projects.
zombie in 5 minutes of the movie.
All
She
those kind
died
of
in the first
things
5
are
minutes.
Consistent with when you're in a
Hot blonde
blockbuster
girl
of that
turned
size.
zombie.
And with her,
Why do you think
that
Zack
did not
Snyder
happen.
cast her?
It happened, very significantly for her co-star. Obviously, he's the lead of the film and he's the title character, but even, you know, even a small percentage of that did not happen for her. So that's
disingenuous. This is
that's my
absolutely
assessment.
disingenuous.
What evidence sitting here today do you have that this caused her career any harm?
Because evidence in that, in my experience and the experience of my colleagues in the experience of this business, your career takes a turn after something like that. She was very well received in the movie at the time. Everyone was very happy with her at the time. There was no issues. And then to have a complete downturn after that, and then have that coincide with constant tweets and negativity put out about her. I don't have a physical piece of paper of evidence, but it's the only logical conclusion I can draw.
Can you
She's still
name a
cast in a
single
movie. She has
role
lost a
has
damn
lost
role.
as a result of any activity by Adam Waldman or anyone at his behest?
Leah, wait till this.
There was a movie at Amazon that she had been offered with Gael Garcia Bernal. I don't know what the final title of it is called now. I can look it up. It had a working title at the time. That they took away from her. And, the lead actor who was a producer on it very much wanted it to be her and was very frustrated with the process. And no one can say out loud, we're taking this away from her because, of this bad press, because it's nothing she did, and it's all hearsay and it's all, whatever, but there's no other reason.
Now, Ms. Kovacevic, you've testified a bit about Adam Waldman, correct?
Correct.
And can you point us to any career opportunities that Ms. Heard has lost because of any statements made by Mr. Waldman?
I mean, the Amazon movie, for one, is one that is tangible, because that is an example of something that she had before all of it that was then taken away. I know that a campaign she shot for Todd's via Katie Slater was scrapped and not used. There was not another specific example because, like I said to you, no one is going to say to me, oh, we can't hire her because of these tweets or whatever. They just don't want to hire someone that has bad press around them from, these accusations, calling
Zombieland, Marcus,
someone who's being
Zombieland.
accused of a liar and making something up and, abusing somebody. No one wants that
You're muted,
association with
Jedi.
their project.
And directing your attention 10 pages into the article, there's
Jedi, you muted, bro.
another quote from Mr.
Oh, okay.
Waldman. Mr. Waldman states in this article, quote, quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt didn't do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their stories straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
It just shows the top part of that on this page, but the top part was correct.
Did any potential, was WME aware of Adam's statement, Mr. Waldman's statements in this particular article?
Yes.
Now, you testified a little bit earlier about there being tweets from Adam, and I assume you were referring to Adam Waldman. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what, if any, impact did it have on Amber Heard's career and career path to have Mr. Depp's lawyer putting out statements in the press and in tweets that Amber Heard was lying, making things up, creating a hoax of abuse?
I think that his comments spurred on, it just added fuel to the fire. So there was already so much media coverage.
And that's what you observed?
That's what I observed.
I'm going to take you to Aquaman, and I'll call it Aquaman 1 just to make it a little bit easier.
to understand. What, if any,
It's only one
performance
Aquaman movie.
issues were raised with Amber Heard by anyone that was responsible for the filming of Aquaman?
No performance issues raised whatsoever.
And what was your understanding of how Amber tested with the audiences in Aquaman?
My understanding was that she tested extremely well.
And this is an Aquaman has reflected all the markers of a very successful movie at this point?
Yes.
You testified earlier that it's quite typical when you have a series of 3 to 4 films in a franchise or a series to be able to renegotiate as you go into the sequels. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And why is that?
Because you make the initial deals, before the movie has done, well. And then when the movie overperforms like that, it's a custom.
In light of the success of Aquaman, would you expect that Amber Heard would be receiving endorsements as of this time?
Yes.
And what is the typical?
Yeah, there's only one.
process
There's only
that
one
happens
Aquaman she's
after
been in. But
someone has
yeah,
starred
thank you,
in
Marcus. That's
a
all the
very
films that she's
successful
been in.
movie
Like,
such
no,
as Aquaman
not high
and
caliber
Amber
actress. She's
Heard?
just there for eye
The
candy.
endorsement
That's it.
department would.
That's literally it. And look at all of her
a
roles that she's been
combination
in
of
direct to DVD.
offers
Mhm.
and then seeking out offers
Machete
seeking
kills.
out opportunities.
I don't remember that.
Given Amber's career trajectory leading up to and immediately after the success of Aquaman 1,
Drop Dead
would
Sexy,
you expect her
2005.
career
Come
to
on.
go on an upward, downward trajectory, or
Aquaman 1 was almost the closest leading role she actually had.
Yeah, but
And
that
why
was
is
because of Zack Snyder. Just because she
Because
looks
it's
like the
success of a
character
film
Mira.
like
and
that.
she's star hair. Like, I
usually
mean,
always the
honestly,
case.
the way she looks, yeah, she definitely looks like Mira.
And
But as an
immediately
actress,
after
no,
the
absolutely not.
successes of
Like, that's what I'm
Aquaman,
saying. Her
would you
role
have
was like, oh, she gave
expected
a
Amber's
horrible performance.
annual
She
earnings
did,
to
like, not much,
increase,
in the
decrease,
film.
or
Like,
stay
she
the
was wearing that
same
damn
compared
wig,
to the
all that shit
previous
she was
5
doing.
years?
I would have
But
expected them to
the whole
increase.
thing with her
And why is
character is in the second
Because
one they might do
her
because she's a
her
side
profile
like
had been raised
a lead,
internationally. She was
whatever,
in a movie
but
that
they
was
just might make it
successful
something like, oh, she's
worldwide.
pregnant or
And when you
something.
are
But that's
in
his
a
wife in the
movie
comics,
that performs that well
But
worldwide, your
now
bankability
that was because of
is
Aquaman, James
stronger.
Wan
You
as
can
director from
finance
The
an
Conjuring,
independent
all the
film
stuff
more
from Warner
easily.
Brothers,
You can greenlight a film more
and the
easily.
fact that you had Yaha
You
Madu, my
can
team,
just
up in there,
do
Black Manta.
more and for more money.
Do you recall what the budget was for Aquaman?
The first one,
The only
I
one.
don't know. It would have been
Show your
probably
logic,
somewhere
ma'am.
between 150 and 200 million.
Oh wow.
No, 160, $200 million. Thank
Immediately
you.
after the success of
Jedi
Aquaman,
on it.
would you have expected Ms.
Outta here.
Heard to
I know
continue to earn at least the fee she made on
box office
Aquaman
actually
from
was
future big budget
around
studio
1.1
firms,
or
less or
1.14
more?
million,
You,
$1 billion.
That becomes an actor's quote, their fee. Yes, typically, like you will then earn your, not on a tiny independent film, you couldn't make that much money on that, but another studio film, another film at a streamer or whatever, something like that, you would make
Yeah,
that
it was
much.
around $10
or
million
potentially get a
behind
raise.
Wonder Woman because around 150 million they made
Other than Aquaman 2,
in
has
terms of
Amber
the
obtained
production.
any roles with a budget the size
That's
of
not including
Aquaman's?
marketing.
No.
Has she been hired for any films with budgets over 100 million?
No.
Oh,
Immediately
why?
after
I
the
don't know what
success
that
of
part supposed to mean in
Aquaman,
reference to her in the
would
movie
you
when she's
expect
in
the
the movie.
success of Aquaman
No,
and the
that's in the
starring
story.
role of
No,
that
no. Here's the thing:
film
if they wanted to do
to
that, they could
increase her
because
ability
in
to
the
get
the
more movie
storyline for
studio
Flashpoint, that's
to
when
be
Wonder Woman
interested
fell
in
in love
her,
with Aquaman in
decrease
the
or stay the
distant
same?
timeline. And basically
Increase.
she killed Mira. She
And
basically
did it?
Beheaded her.
decapitated her
Okay.
in the
Would you
Flashpoint comics.
expect her to get more TV roles?
Objection.
And why?
Why? Because I mentioned earlier in the conversation, TV and films are so blended now, and there's much
Thanks
less
to
of a
streaming.
delineation between picking projects between film and TV.
That's not the
And
that's not the question.
did Amber receive more TV roles as a result of Aquaman, the success of Aquaman?
No.
Immediately after the success of Aquaman, would you have expected Amber to star in more than one project per year, less, or the same?
It depends. If it was a big, Aquaman takes up 6 months of the year. Big movies take up a longer time. Indies, you can do a couple of them a year. It just depends. So I wouldn't put a number on it, but definitely more than 0.
She's not an actress.
Has Amber starred in more than one project per year since then?
No.
Immediately after the success of Aquaman, did you expect Amber to earn between $5 and $10 million a year for the next 5 years?
I would have expected to renegotiate on Aquaman 2, most certainly. And so right there, that would have been significantly more. And she would have, yes, I would have expected her to earn more in a combination of
to entertain people
TV, film, and more endorsements.
Was it your
That is correct.
understanding
That's a
that
fact. You're absolutely right.
WB passed on to L'Oreal
Absolutely right.
suggestions to assist them in being able to block some of the harassing Instagrams they were getting at that time?
Yes.
All right. Let's bring up 30 again, please. Now, did in fact
Take your time,
L'Oreal
Rumpy. We're here.
suspend having Amber
Yeah,
Heard
I'm
on
so glad.
International
I'm so
Women's
glad we
Day?
got we crossed paths, bro. I mean,
What
man,
the
I mean,
conditions were for the renewal?
no.
It was just essentially that they were renewing her.
I know, you Rob B and them talking and stuff. Like you feel like, oh, there's more, there's more people.
That was the bulk of it. It wasn't, like a
I
raise.
appreciate y'all guys coming through to get through this this Haspadash and Hebrew.
Typically coming out of the success
A
of
lot going on here.
Aquaman,
Yeah.
would you have anticipated that Amber could have negotiated larger fees for commercial projects?
Yes.
Because she doesn't have audience. That's the thing.
by
It's not
that-
like you casting the Dwayne the Rock Johnson
Because her
or Zendaya because they
profile
have influence.
Raised. She was,
She doesn't have an audience. Johnny
she had
Depp
done something
does.
super successful. So typically that's what you would do. That would just be the
But 30
standard.
plus
Take
years.
marketing. You have to
When did
understand
you
that.
first learn about
Johnny
the
Depp is a
Change.org
brand. The Rock is a
petition
brand.
that was
The Great Pope
out there to
Podcast
try
is
to
a
get
brand.
Amber Heard
Brand, right.
dropped?
I don't know when I first saw
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Jeremiah, we got a logo. It's a brand. We're gonna
Were
make
you
all this
aware
shit,
of it
right?
as of
Come
May
on.
27,
We're
2020?
selling hats and all that shit soon.
Yes.
There you go.
You
There we
earlier
go.
talked about bots in response to one of Mr. Chu's questions. What, if anything, was your understanding of these bots at this time, during this time frame?
My understanding is just based off my own, mainly based off my own research, just clicking on the accounts myself.
You haven't done a good
and
job,
then
man.
discussing it amongst the team.
And what did you learn when you did that?
No, I'll make this a fucking.
Just as
career.
I
You
would
get
go
paid for this
through,
shit.
daily, just looking at comments or, just the negative comments, clicking on them. Many of them were just kind of accounts made for this kind of commentary, or just accounts that just had, no followers, no posts, nothing, or following just.
Yes, there's a thing
Amber
called
and
bots.
Johnny,
We get it.
things like that.
We got trolls here.
And I'm sorry. And so what did you learn from clicking onto those that led you to believe they were bots?
They weren't consistent with what I know to be actual Instagram accounts.
When you look to set a career trajectory for an actor, who
Everybody
just
got bots.
broke out
That's
in
not
a major franchise
Yeah, that's
film,
everybody.
would
I
you
had
look
one.
to
I had them on my live
comparable
stream.
actors'
Like
careers to ascertain what type of acting jobs they could get?
I mean, I've been doing this job for, quite some time, so I don't necessarily look to one or the other, but in general, when someone is in, what was at the time the most successful film ever released.
That's not true.
my
Stop
natural
saying that.
question Is
That was the most
growth
successful DC movie
and
at that current time.
more films, more,
That's not all
more
time.
growth, more money, all of that stuff.
Yeah, be
And when you
careful with your
say
verbiage in this.
most
I'm
successful film ever, you're
working in the
referring to
industry and
Aquaman
telling you
1,
this.
Correct.
Okay. Are comparable actors' salaries used in your mind to ascertain the asking price for an actor in a similar film? Are comparable actors' salaries used in your mind to ascertain the asking price for an actor in a similar film?
Yes.
Would you consider Anna de Armas' career to be comparable to Amber's in measuring where Amber would have been after Aquaman 1? Should have been.
Ana de Armas, yes, I would say that would be a comparable, that would be a good comp.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Aquaman is not even the
That's
top
it.
10
That's it.
all like billion-dollar
ladies
films
and
of all
gentlemen, we've come
time.
to the
Not
end
even
of
top
our
10.
day and
It's
the end of our
not.
week. So
420.
I want to make
It's like
sure you have a good 3 days and come back for
it's right behind
our
Captain
last week
America:
of
Civil War.
testimony, and enjoy your weekend. I just want to remind you again of what we need to remember as we go through the weekend, okay? So you're not to read anything about this case. You're not to watch anything about this case. You're not to listen to anything about the case. This applies to television, newspapers, magazines, the internet, and any online
Yeah, they're doing
sites.
closing.
Further, you're not to read,
Robbie.
watch, or listen to anything about this case on any social media networking site or streaming service. In addition, you must not communicate with anyone about the case, whether in person, over the phone, by email, text, or instant messaging, or by any other electronic or non-electronic means.
Yeah,
This
right.
includes your fellow jurors, friends, family, co-workers, acquaintances, and strangers. I also instruct you that you cannot do any research or make inquiries about this case, whether online or by any other means. For example, you cannot look information up on the internet that is related to this case or related to the persons involved in this case, nor may you consult dictionaries or other reference materials. What you learn about this case is limited to what you learn in the four walls of this courtroom when proceedings are underway. All right. So enjoy your weekend. We'll see you early, 9 o'clock, ready to go on Monday morning. Okay.
Oh wow! So they're gonna do Friday? So it's just
Yeah, told you.
you called it.
Hey, you put some respect on my goddamn name. Nah, I like listen, and my thing with this is that not like saying like I studied this. This is like thing. I would people they have their own thing that they study the heck out of. People
also,
understand shoes. All this is my
in this
domain.
matter, Ms. Heard,
So
Mr.
just
Depp,
like
please
with
not
this with
do
that
any
with
posts on
that
social media over the
person that
weekend
just
and
came
no
up there
public
from
statements, please.
communications
All right.
person did a horrible
And
job
we will
because
see
she did
you
not
on
do her
Monday morning.
research,
As for the attorneys, 8 a.m.
especially not in
tomorrow.
this
I thank
industry.
you for all the jury instructions, objections, going through those now. I appreciate that. I am missing some exhibits from depositions that we need to get. So if you get with Jamie, so we can get those and get them all taken care of for the week. Another thing that I'm doing, just to give you information, where I'm getting IT together to do a laptop for the jurors for deliberations. The laptop is going to be scrubbed and it's just going to have the audio and the video files on them. Okay, so they're going to get me a mock-up by Tuesday. It's not going to have any Wi-Fi or internet or no password, so it's just going to have that on it. So once I get it and I approve it, I'm going to have both parties take a look at it and make sure everything is on there. That's supposed to be on there, and that's going to go to the jury when the physical evidence goes to the jury. Okay. It just seemed like that was a better way to do it for the audio and the video files. Okay. As far as times go, I can give you your updated times as of this minute.
Here it is, guys. Pay
For
attention.
plaintiff has used 42 hours and 45 minutes. Defendant has used 53 hours and 1 minute. So the time remaining for the plaintiffs is 18 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh.
And the time for the defendants is 8 hours and 14 minutes. Okay.
10-hour difference.
So anybody
Y'all,
have any
that's
other
why
issues
Camille was
before
going was going the way she's going at that pace because listen, if she had
All
more
right, we'll
time
see
to
you tomorrow
drag this
morning,
out,
8 a.m.
she's gonna use it.
Thank you.
This ain't the even though people have their opinions about whether this should have been slowed down with Camille, it's strategic what she was doing. Now, at that moment, she could have used the time to slow things down. But for the point is that she's gonna lay all the evidence that her's gonna get because once she brings all the evidence, time runs out. And she said when the clock is out, the clock is out. So that's the thing. When you having all this stuff that she has is out the window. So that gives Johnny's team time to, all right, we got the evidence, we got all the stuff. You have no time left to speak on your claim because you basically ran out of time. So therefore, we're gonna go in and we're gonna try to continue with the cross-examination, continue also going over the depositions and making sure that all with the jurors can really identify the deception in Amber Heard's character, at least in this claim that we're talking about. So that's the thing. I feel like Camille, I think everybody, I understand that she was stressed out. Like people were stressing out the other day because she was like going a little bit fast and not really heading on. But I'm trusting Camille.
Shout out to you, good sir. Shout out to you.
Yes, go to law school. What you waiting for?
No. Listen, no, I can't be in
What the
competition with
hell
the
are you
lead.
waiting for?
No, but honestly though, if I wanted to, like, no, seriously, I maybe want to look into maybe mediation because I do that in school,
Yeah, mediation is pretty good.
like I do that in school, like when conflict with people, we have topics and debates. I also have my background in debate team as well, so it's like I have understand mediation and stuff like that, and you're understanding perspectives and stuff, but like that. But yeah, no, if I'll look into it possibly. I'm still young.
You definitely should.
So let me get my little thoughts out real quick because I know Jenny was dropping all types of gems. I don't got that much because Jenny was doing a pretty awesome job. Um, I feel bad for Johnny. It's just like I vet your doctors on every level, ladies and gentlemen. If this doesn't prove anything,
My
it,
God.
yeah, it just gets you in that feeling like you can't trust anybody for no reason. I think they paid him. I think they paid him. They gave him a dollar amount and he said, let's go. There's too much information he was just giving out there. Like you shouldn't do that.
Direct violation.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. When the doctor was testifying, like I was sitting in my car waiting for my daughter's bus and I was dead behind falling asleep. Like, what is he talking about? It was very dry. So I think that whatever his testimony was meant to accomplish, it's going to go over the jurors' heads because I feel like they ultimately checked out on his testimony. This is another thing that I'm really confused about. Why is all of Amber's witnesses almost via video, via a deposition from forever ago? Why are they not live in the courtroom to be cross-examined? Does the defense have videos of their cross-examination? Is that what we're going to see whenever we come back? Like, that wasn't, you're right, Jedi, that wasn't a strong or a very smart strategy. Like, there's no opportunity for redirect, nothing, because you're having everything via video.
I agree.
We should look at some of that testimony from Amber Heard's sister. I heard that testimony was a little bit shocking yesterday.
She was contradicting herself too. I didn't understand that. She was contradicting herself on that one too.
Yeah, so basically, and when it came to when her sister was coming on the stand, she basically was giving the whole point about, well, Amber Heard was basically, she said that she made physical contact with Johnny, but it was out of response because Johnny supposedly hit her sister, right? But like I said, it was contradictory because the point where she was saying that, when it came to Johnny doing a drug abuse, whatever, or like doing the thing with cocaine and all that stuff, and the pictures of that she had of the lines on the table. However, what Camille also emphasized in that when she was cross-examining Amber, that there was no residue on that table. It looked like it was framed, right? But she's like, well, my sister taught Johnny how to use a pad, XY, to use it. I'm like, this dude allegedly is hitting you, whatever, and you're teaching him how to use the very drugs that you say that make him this monster, right? So it's contradictory there. Also, to a point where she's saying the main big thing that the draw from it was when you have someone that is telling you how to I don't want to say that because that child's here, but yeah, no. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. So when you have someone that's telling you how you chop a body part off of you, right? Especially a finger that's supposed to be that gruesome, all this stuff, and when you talk, but yet it's like, yeah, Johnny told me how he cut off his finger, but I forgot what he said. I'm like, you don't forget something like that, especially when it pertains to a countersue of your own sister, right? Don't, like, that's just like, that's something you should not forget of someone of the alleged abuser telling you how they cut their finger off, when then they're saying it was your sister that did it. So you better know your information. Don't say you forgot when you're in court and standing and talking to the jury, because they're not going to believe you.
Well, this is the thing too. Wives have the opportunity to make their spouses seek, psychological help. So the thing that strikes me as odd listening to all this testimony. A lot of people speak of when they were dating, even Amber Heard. Oh, we were dating. He was horrible when we were dating. So he was horrible when you were dating. You got married. You didn't try to encourage him to really seek any help. Because if that, listen, again, if that doctor was the person offering help, I could barely stay awake during his testimony. Could you
Yeah.
imagine staying awake in his office trying to seek help?
Mm-hmm.
No.
But yeah, but the recurring thing about this is that much as you look at people different YouTube videos of like people reading body language and all this other stuff, the thing about this is that they keep beating over the head that Johnny is doing drugs and all this stuff, and this they have to understand just the industry that everybody and their mama have been using drugs and all this stuff for many years in this industry. So you beat over the head, oh yeah, he abused drugs. Okay, yes, Bobby Brown done it. Whitney Houston done it. Marilyn Monroe done it. All like every lot of actors have done this to a point, and especially Amber when she could not just give a direct answer. Ma'am, were you using shrooms? Were you doing drugs when you were getting married? You had the list part of the time. We're gonna get high. We're gonna get lit. All this stuff. What'd you do? Oh well, we didn't do that X Y Z. And you're looking directly at a juror. Just say you were doing drugs. It's not the fact that you doing drugs is wrong because whatever we understand people we legalize marijuana, legalize all this stuff, whatever. We understand folks do that. Though the point we're saying is that if you were at least being honest instead of not, and telling the truth instead of giving an indirect answer, that's the problem. Because the thing with deception is people what they do is that they over-explain. They over-explain what they wouldn't do, but yet they under-explain what they did do. So the thing is, when you ask Amber, ma'am, what did you like? Did you tell TMZ when you gave them the article about that? When we have now, I already have the deposition that said that you gave them the article to TMZ. It's like I don't know how to get that. I wouldn't understand. But how would I do that? How would I ever do that? I have no expertise about that. That wasn't a question. I asked you, did you give it to him? Even though we have you on deposition, like literally what 3 or 4 years ago, saying this near the incident that happened, and now you want to have amnesia. This is all bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not. What it is I think Amber Heard completely forgot what you say in a court of law is now a matter of record because that Johnny Depp's defense team has been really good at tearing down a lot of the witnesses, really based on their prior depositions. I think they thought this was going to be an easy win for them because the son won in the UK. I don't even think that Amber Heard's defense team is looking past this case. The mere fact that the son said they believe it was true is all he really needs for the defamation case. He couldn't win against the son because the son was validated as being a factual account of what happened. So that automatically puts Amber Heard in the spotlight to have to prove what it is that she's saying. And once he disproves her point of view, he's going to go after the son. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes after the attorney, after the doctor, and quite a few more people, even Disney. That's why that Disney rep was really dodgy because Disney, unless they have, even if they have a morality clause, they had no substantiated proof that he actually committed domestic violence. So he has a phenomenal lawsuit against them as well.
And that's the point about for me because that's the part that I'm gonna cover on my show with the whole movie side of it. Because what the Disney and these studios are very hypocritical, especially Warner Brothers, right? Because I just mentioned to you the other day, like I'm gonna use Disney for example, because Disney's more PC than Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah.
So you have Disney. We have the director James Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy. He was not under investigate. He was fired. He was fired from directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for actual pedophilia tweets he had years ago in Twitter, right? And this was during the time when he was going after Donald Trump and all stuff during the media. This was about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago when this happened. And this was a whole big thing. So, and the whole cast of Guardians of the Galaxy made a statement saying we stand by James, and this is not him, this is not his character, whatever. But it was Alan Horn. It wasn't Bob Iger. It was Alan Horn who was the one that made the decision to fire him, right? But here we go. What happened? As soon as all of a sudden he got He got fired from Disney. Guess who's knocking at his door? Warner Brothers. Hey, can you direct a new Suicide Squad movie? We know the first one was shit, so we need you to direct it. So, all right, cool. And guess what? He directed the film, got all this stuff, got all the success. Then all of a sudden, they gave him a TV series. Hey, go make Peacemaker. Go make all this stuff, regardless of the whole pedophilia tweets that you had. Then guess what? Marvel came back.
Don't say that word. YouTube friendly.
Yes, thank you.
Right. Exactly. So it's like the whole thing with Marvel. They hired him again. They hired him again on for him to direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and yet he's still doing all this. But with Disney, what the thing is this, that they hired him on a claim of Twitter, of tweets that happened that are not they're not like an investigation, or it's not, they're actually fact. You had these posts, but yet you have Johnny over an article, and you terminate your entire franchise. The Pirates of the Caribbean series was a franchise, right? Just like Star Wars, just like Marvel, and it canceled that over an article. And then you fired him. Well, you told him to step down. Either way, we know you fired him. He just said, I'm resigning from the role of Grindelwald in the Harry Potter spinoff series, right? And they had the actor Max Mikkelsen to replace his role, but at the same time, they still have Ezra Miller. Him is still in the movie when he's getting arrested, all this other stuff going on. So this is the hypocrisy of these studios they're not acknowledging, man. So if Johnny really wants to go after this, he has a very good case against him, against Disney for doing that.
Well said, sir. Well said.
And Disney probably was super mad because they probably didn't even want to pay him that $22 million. But they legit could not get around that because of the buzz of Captain Jack Sparrow. Like, he made himself a household name with that character. So
Yeah,
I mean,
but
he
that's
already was, but Jack Sparrow itself is a household name.
yeah,
Who
but
doesn't know Jack? Go ahead.
yeah, can you blame him? I mean, even with that's like that authenticity of yourself. It's like he just literally recreated a whole new brand within a brand. You can't knock that. I don't know. Disney just need to wake up, do what they need to do, and just cut their losses. But Johnny, get this over with, and make your list, sir, because I got a list for you, and knock them down. Just keep knocking them down. I'm not mad at you. So I'm so glad, Jedi, you came in here and took the rings with most of this conversation, because it was needed, good sir. Because a lot of people didn't have these informations. Same thing with Robbie Privilege coming in here too. Because a lot of people just don't know.
No, I
Just
appreciate
don't.
it.
Just don't know.
Yeah. I'm
I might
sorry.
be-
That,
Huh?
Go
Go ahead, Jedi.
No, sir. I apologize. I was going on a little rant or tangent because I have my list up here because I didn't want to do a live stream in the middle of all this thing going on
Yeah.
because there's misinformation going on. But this is just, I just cannot stand with folks. You're not doing your damn research when you're looking at this, especially when the woman using Aquaman was the most successful film of all time. No, ma'am, it's not even hit the top 20 of all time.
For
most popular-
her.
For her. It
For
was
her.
For her. Right. And that's not saying much for a DC movie. If you know, if you know your films, you understand that when Aquaman came out, it was a big success for him, even since the whole thing with Wonder Woman. But it was only it's literally behind Captain America, Civil War, in terms of box office, because Aquaman made 1.14 billion, right?
Mhm.
And hold on a second, right? Was it Aquaman? Captain, yeah, and Captain America: Civil War made $1.15 million, and then guess after that, Minions. So don't tell me saying that, oh, this is the most successful
Was
film.
she was she in Minions?
No, I'm talking about the ranking of
Oh, okay.
in terms of box office film of all time. It's like for you, ma'am, and the reason why you got that role is because of Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder cast you in that role in Justice League for 5 minutes. For eye candy, for you to come out of the water and then go back in the sea, and then also you have your second film, because the whole thing is that with Zack Snyder, he likes people looking like the character from the comics, and that's what she did. Mira was not a emotionally draining role. Like, if you saw the
wasn't.
film, it wasn't like she was horrible in the role, but it's like it was basic. So don't say, "Oh, she was the reason for the success of the film." No, the director James Wan was the success of that film, for him directing The Conjuring and all these horror films that was very profitable for Warner Brothers, especially for Aquaman, and the director Yaha Madu Mateen, who's Black Manta. He's also Dr. Manhattan on Watchmen,
Yes.
Candyman, all the other stuff. This man been killing it. And the thing about this with films, you have to understand, is that it's a brand that brings the audience. Johnny Depp is a brand. You have The Rock, he can be Black Adam in October. He's been marketing that film like crazy on his social media because he is a brand.
Yep.
Right. Same thing with when you see other actors like for example, Chris Hemsworth. You see folks with a lot of Zendaya with a lot of social media presence that bring audiences to the film. Amber Heard does not have an audience. It's just the fact that she just looks cute, and that's it. You know,
That's it. And I don't think she marketed her brand earlier, even though one of the cases where it was the audio of what some of the stuff that Johnny was saying, it makes sense. Like, are you wearing that when you walk out the door? Are you doing this when you walk out the door? If I'm under somebody, and I even say this too, even on this platform, if I know somebody is a more seasoned veteran, more experienced, and they're talking, listen for a second. You know what I'm saying? The attitude, the cockiness when I'm walking out my door. You know, if Robbie gives some free wisdom and advice, what's that's not helping anything. That's not helping me. That's not helping a brand because she has her brand. Let's network together and let's push forward. So if I'm coming up, she's coming up. Now we can kind of circulate with both the brands and support one another. So Amber Heard need to. I don't know. I don't think she got it. I mean, now I think she just really buried herself after this, and she's dead in the water. It's like you're starting right back all over.
and I'll just say to emphasize this to a lot of young men, or not men, yeah, men in general, guys. Looks mean absolutely nothing without character.
Yes.
This man, and this is the thing I had to give Johnny on this too. I'm holding him accountable. This dude divorced his wife because of this woman. Because this woman, they were in a role together in a film. And because of that, they got married within less than a year, and in 15 months, they got divorced. Gave him $7 million in divorce settlement, and because of the situation he's going through, I'm saying, guys, looks mean absolutely nothing without character.
Well, it's not even necessarily about the looks. It's about if you go into a situation messy, you will come out of that situation
Yes, ma'am.
messy.
Yes, ma'am.
He set his karmic energy. You
Yeah.
broke someone hard, you know what I'm saying? You caused a major disruption in her life, and this Jezebel came into your life and caused a major disruption. And the blessing for Johnny Depp is that he already has a whole bunch of money. So is it really a big of a loss? No. Is most of America like, oh, poor Johnny because of the money? Absolutely not. It's oh, poor Johnny because this lady was horrible. But she also beat her ex-wife. So there's that. Like that shows her
Yes, yes,
personality
yes.
type. She's a domestic.
She dated her woman?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. She's bisexual.
What the?
And
She trisexual. Let's keep it real, Jedi. She trisexual. She trying to do.
Oh, okay.
She trying to do anything that she could do in order to get to that bag, get to that money.
Did not know
see?
that.
and this is
Yes.
and, this is the thing, and also this is the thing you have to understand. If you can find this this statistic, I believe in I think it was in the Federal Logistics Bureau. This thing about in
Yes,
domestic-
sir. I didn't know that. See, this is how much I stay out of people's business. I'm that guy. I say so much out of people. I did not know that. So I did not know that. But shout out to her though. Shout out to her.
You have to understand, same-sex couples are very high in domestic violence, and this is especially during the pandemic. Like there's been a rise about it. Like this is, fortunately, that is a thing that people don't really talk about. They are whooping each other's butts in these relationships. Oh,
Okay.
Good Lord.
Well, since Robbie stepped up for a second, I will say this: since shout out to Sir Hell for chiming again. Appreciate you, good sir. Again, shout out to the chat, man. I appreciate y'all. Definitely appreciate you, Miss Creative, because she's always coming in and she had great conversations with the chat. Even been like I want to say trollish some way because she's asking like what we eating, all that good stuff. So thank you for keeping us engaged while we're keeping y'all guys engaged. Shout out to Marcus, one of our number one mods. Shout out to Mr. Bennett for stepping on in. Appreciate you, good sir. Shout out to everybody else in the chat. Definitely shout out to some newcomers I saw. Brenda, she's also a supporter subscriber. Appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. Society Podcast. Just to give a heads up, I'm not 100% sure because I took notes for topics for Saturday. So me and Mika got to run through that. And I'm gonna show this while I'm running my mouth. So Tuesday for the gentlemen's panel next week Tuesday, because I had an idea and it came down to vetting. So this pretty much is gonna put a cherry on some stuff. So we got for the guys panel, Jedi, you're more than welcome to come in, sir, if you have the time. Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central. You know what? Because the guys is a little bit more flexible than ladies on their end, so it's all good. Tuesday for the guys panel at 6 p.m. Central Time. 6 p.m. Central Time. So, fellas, you're more than welcome to make it. We're not going to no crazy full house, just enough of good conversations. All right. We're going to be talking about vetting. It could be anything. How do men vet the women? What do we expect for women to vet us? All that good stuff. So, we're going to keep it kind of relationship based. Even the jobs, like how do we vet our jobs? All that good stuff. So, the topic is going to be about vetting. Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. This Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Time, the whole Great Pill Podcast clique going to be up in here, and we have another discussion. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbnail so you can keep updated for the topic for this Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Time. All right. So I appreciate you guys on that. And what you have to show us, Robbie? Oh,
this is her wife, and I also pulled up her cross about her domestic violence as well. So I'm going to be dropping that in the back chat for you. We can look at that if you want to. But yeah, this is her wife that she DV'd.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So Amber, so it was reported Amber Heard was abusing her.
Yes.
There's an article. The claim she
I already put it in the.
Yeah, there you go, Miss. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this article.
So, and
probably...
Go ahead, Jedi Mike.
No, go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
And this again is not the woman that we are seeing in the courthouse. Again, she's downplaying her looks. She's starved herself. She's dropped a good 20 pounds to seem gaunt and emaciated to really make herself look like the victim. When in fact, she beat the bloody nonsense out of this lady. Go ahead, Jedi Mike.
Yes, because this is a thing in this tactic that she uses, and especially how she's looking to the jury every time that she's having a question. But yeah, when she can't answer a direct question, then she's looking at as a defense attorney, right? She can't look at it when she's not having an indirect answer. But the point, this is keep going back to her just not being a really good actress. It's just that when she's crying, there's absolutely no tears at all. Like when she's doing that, saying, "John, it's him. He's guilty. He's guilty. Look at him. All this stuff. I just want to be free. I didn't want. I want nothing." Asking for $7 million that still have not been paid within 13 months. And anyone who understands in terms of donations or anything like that, no, when you pledge does not mean donate, and that's not rocket science. You holding that same amount of money for you being a millionaire or whatever actress for 13 months to a charity that you claim so highly of for against domestic violence or anything like that. For a charity that she holds in high regard, and the fact that you have not paid that in 13 months, and then use the excuse, "Oh, I got sued." BS. That is absolute BS.
That is a shocker to me. That's wild. That's wild. Will they ever bring her up as a character witness, or we don't know? Because she got Amber Heard got 8 hours left, and Johnny got
18.
18. That's a lot of time to do some work.
Mm-hmm. But I think I forgot what the actress name. That's what Amber Heard. I forgot. There was another actress that I think they still haven't brought in on the stand that was witnessing of their relationship. Kate Moss, I think. Is it Kate Moss? I think. That situation, if they want to bring her in, they could. But honestly, I think it's kind of relevant at this point. But I mean, someone make a joke. You could bring Elon, but that wouldn't do anything.
Elon's not coming. Elon's not coming. No, he already said he's not coming.
Yeah.
You can share that screen if you want to, Great Pill. But this is the thing. Yes, she has gotten around Sir Hell, gotten around a whole lot, gotten around the men, gotten around the women, gotten around to the grassy hills and the valleys, honey, and just everywhere. She get around. Now Amber got options and she's out of her mind. Yes, absolutely. But the prosecution ultimately declined to file charges. And I have to tell you, I'm against domestic violence on all fronts. I think if you have actual injuries, like viable injuries, then there's a possibility to look at like filing charges or not. But I think women as a whole should not be excused from the judicial system because of domestic violence. Like if you've done the crime, then you need to do the time. And she probably got away because she's, blonde hair, blue eyed damsel in distress. But
Porcelain skin.
yeah, but she's caused a lot of chaos. She's a serial abuser. Now, the thing that makes this whole case sad is no matter how it works out, this is gonna irrevocably change who Johnny Depp is as a man. He's not gonna be as generous with people anymore. He's not gonna be as
Not.
loving. He's not even going to want anybody at his house. He's probably going to turn into a recluse. This may be the thing that takes Johnny Depp out. And he's not a young man. He is almost 60 years old. Imagine living your whole life with good reputation and rapport. And then a succubus comes and steals your thunder in your twilight hour.
Yep.
This is the type of women that men need to watch out for.
Yep.
Let me be quiet. I don't know.
And this is the thing we have to emphasize this, that domestic violence need to be a people issue, which is why this is the only reason why I give a damn about this case, because this is because that's the only thing I'm watching this just looking to turn out for as a society and culture, is that we make this a domestic violence a people issue. Then it really will give an opportunity for men to at least speak up about this, but also the term thing, we can't be claiming for equality and claiming that we don't have equal consequences for our actions. We understand that the women are more in abusive relationships than men are. We understand like that is a fact. But it does not mean the fact that men are not being heard in these situations when they might be going through domestic violence, and yet not being believed, X, Y, Z, or etc. But the thing which you mentioned about going to the point of no domestic violence, going to the legal point, not taking any pictures. When you're saying that someone is giving you black eyes, broken nose, all this stuff, putting bottles in your in your genitalia, all this other stuff, when you're doing this and having cut up sliced feet, all these things you're saying, and no damn pictures,
Yep.
right? See, when we saw Rihanna, we only had to saw one picture like this dude. No, it's over. One picture of Rihanna, that was over. But yet we can't have no single picture of all this stuff that you're saying, that all these things you're saying this, but yet you have pictures of Johnny Depp passed out. You have pictures of lines of drug paraphernalia, all of that stuff on table. But even to a point, it looks easily presentable. It look all clean in this, like it's staged.
Yeah.
When you have all this stuff, it is absolutely ridiculous. This is saying this like when you have all this stuff, and this is giving true women who are going through domestic violence, such as my mother in the past. Like, this is giving a bad name, because then she's like, how can I believe you? Everyone can think, oh, it's just another Heard situation. It's not, But with this, she's not making any case of someone who's actually going through real abuse, and she's wasting the court's time.
Well said. Gotta vet properly. Y'all see these signs? Just because you got a big button smile, that's the devil's playground. It's like,
Hey! Don't come for the big booty chicks, okay?
That's the devil's playground. Just saying. So they're throwing it, you'd be like all like this.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! My God! Ooh.
Just like that.
Yes, when a woman has a big booty, you will say, "Oh my God," just like that. But make sure they have a big heart. The smile is usually a good indicator, but you do got to watch the actions. Sit in the cut for like a good 6 months and just watch.
But see, man, a lot of men don't know how to do that. I'm not gonna say all, but a lot of men don't know how to do that. They go for that, that oh my God smile, the eyes, the hair, the smell, and they go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Then next thing you know, as soon as they see all the flags, and then they'll go a little bit sideways with it. And now it's like, oh man, you see her? She was like this. She was like that. It was like, well, the people that really had the intentions of sleeping with her or having these fantasies about her, we saw clearly, but you didn't.
Right.
Yes.
Go ahead, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
very superficial.
Yeah, like this is the thing though. Everybody is worried about smashing and dashing. That's it. That's it. And whatever else while we're on this topic, just like
Sure.
if you are the type that just wants to, get it popping and then moving right along, stop trying to pretend like you're in a relationship because that's when you bring out the crazy in people, both
Yeah.
men and women. Stop doing that. Y'all playing. That's why we got snapped in the ID network. Don't do it.
Shout out to Snap.
Yeah.
Shout out to Snap. All right, we'll do closing thoughts on this one. This actually was a good one. Well, it said Monday, so what time was it on Monday, Jedi? Did they say it was gonna start with 9 o'clock?
Oh yeah, 9 a.m. Yep, and this
Okay.
is down the street from my house.
Okay, cool. It depends. We'll chime in around the same time if Jedi you down. Just jump in with us. Not in the morning though, but like some in the afternoon. I guess after lunch. So that'd be like what 1 o'clock. I will have the thumbnail on time this time. I would have the thumbnail on time because, like I said, I was very picky. I'm judgmental myself. I was very picky about the thumbnail, and I try to put so much work for the viewers and the subscribers. So that's me. That was me because I told Robbie, I said, "Hey, give me an hour." That was at 12 o'clock during their lunchtime. So I'm throwing accountability. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, hearsay.
Hearsay. Objection.
Objection.
Leading.
Yeah. Overruling myself. Okay, overruling. Look at that. We learned a lot in these couple of days. I got a lot. I'm kind of waiting until I get on for Friday nights for Black Men Filter for the barbershop. I'm gonna use all these tactics.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Objection, hearsay.
The only tactic I had, I was passing through a stream that we was a guest on before, and all I said was, I humbly, respectfully disagree. And this girl just went bananas. And I was like, so these tactics gonna be killer for Friday. So shout out to him. Yeah. So final thoughts on anything? Hey, D game, fellas, ladies, vet properly. Look for the red flags. Take your time out for yourself. Know exactly what you want, and I'm even saying that to the gold diggers out there. Hey, if this is what you want, and if Johnny is that type of guy, not saying he is, but if you got those type of guys that put hands and snap third, there's as a large percentage of guys going to be very controlling. So think about that. All right, like Robbie said, look for the heart, not just for the looks, not for the glitter. I don't know. It's like a give and take. If you're looking for even a woman, if she got like making a millionaire superstar, she may be in that more dominant role. So you probably have to like fall back just a little bit. Men gotta have the D control. You got a right hand for a reason. There's Jergens all over the 99-cent store. Take your time out. Work on yourself. It's okay. Ladies, stop harping over one word. Stop harping over everything. It's okay. Get therapy. Work on yourself. Just get some help. Get help. If you know you got issues, you know you got insecurities, focus on that. Stop trying to get a relationship. Stop it. Stop it. And I'm talking to people who want to troll this channel too. Grow up. If you're over the age of 21, work on yourself. If you're over the age of 30 and you got some issues, take the time out, work on yourself. If you're over 40 and got some baby daddy issues and a bad ASS kid, focus on your children, okay? Focus on them. Stop trying to get a man. Focus on your household. Focus on that. If you know you got bills and debt collections, all that stuff going on, relationships is on the back burner. I'm not recommending go pay for the box, but hey, I'm just leave it like that. You got options. Don't be putting so much heartfelt tensions into these relationships and you know you don't got it to give. You're webs, okay? You're stretching yourself out thin. How you going to work 16 hours Sunday to Saturday and you don't got an hour to your girlfriend and she's making you feel stressed and arguing with you about for some time, for some emotional time, and you don't got two nickels to rub together. Ladies, if the fellas is telling you they broken busy, because that's my motto, broken busy, listen to them.
Don't put no clock on these guys out there. They're saying that they're working themselves. They're working. They're busy. Don't force a man into a relationship. And I'll leave it with that. Jedi, Pastor Jedi, Deacon Robbie, I'll let y'all go and final words and we'll close out.
Robbie, you want to go?
Yeah, because you be giving us little preacher vibes. We're going to need the preacher to and take us on that. But
I got to whisper, sir, here, because sometimes you yell at people. Again, you don't hear that one word. He said, beep, and you go from there. So you got to whisper now, right? I'm going to start whispering to people. Maybe they hear the whispers.
Listen, I second everything that Angela said, because at the end of the day, it is Get Money Nation. If you ain't getting no money, we don't want to hear about it. If you worried about how you're going to pay your rent this month, yes, I said this month, and it's the 19th, because there's plenty of people that ain't paid their rent for this month.
Hey, don't call me out.
Oh, child, listen. You don't got no time to be bumping and grinding. You got not on nobody. You got time to be bumping and grinding on some bills. Get like me. I got 80,000 jobs, always on the grind. Be on your grind mode. And ladies, if you want a man that has money that is valuable, you're not gonna find that dude in a place where there's no money and no value. Position yourself appropriately. In order to do that, well, you have to deserve to be there. Deserve to be there. Take an inventory of who you hanging around, just like in this case with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Johnny Depp was all the way up here. All his friends, high money, high energy, doing great things, traveling. All of Amber and all of her friends needed somewhere to stay. They was homeless, officeless, peachesless. He should have left her homeless, officeless, and peachesless too. Stop dating down. Period. Go ahead, Jedi Mike.
And then we're gonna do an outro, Jedi. So you're gonna take us home, brother.
Okay. Guys, if anything that have proven you, I'm gonna leave you with this. These violent delights will have violent ends. What you have seen here today, not only today, but the rest of this trial, is not only a reflection. I know these guys are celebrities, but honestly, they're not far from what reality that us as individuals we experience. The only difference is we're not being recorded. The only thing that I can tell you this, guys, especially what you saw with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard in terms of who they are and their whole past experiences. When you have undealt with trauma, the worst thing you can try to do is try to add that in trauma bonding. Trauma bonding is one of the worst things. Unfortunately, I even go on as Black people, we take that thing too. We feel like, oh well, I have not gone to therapy. I have not dealt with trauma of my parents. Oh yeah, I've dealt with child abuse, so I'm leaving with a point where I have abandonment issues. Therefore, I cannot leave a toxic relationship. And therefore, if it leads to the damage or the safety of my own life, that is BS. You are being a valuable asset. You cannot obtain a liability. That's go for both men and women. The worst thing I can tell you as men, when you're focusing on your purpose and you're focusing on your mission and stuff like that, the worst thing you do is compromise that for lack of temptation, lack of sexual discipline, and i.e. when you are compromising the value you be remaining in a relationship that therefore is just deriving you from your life. Yes, Johnny Depp is how old or how many years age gap difference from Amber Heard, but that still is no excuse for any man to compromise his own wealth, his own integrity, his purpose, and more importantly, his own well-being for someone that looking like, that might be nice, porcelain skin, all this stuff, but fortunately, they're going to be aging like milk tomorrow, and yet you're going to be going to the next person. Do not be doing that. Do not be doing that, compromising for short-term delights, because it'll lead to a violent end. And I will say this, that with men, this too for both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, guys, stop lying to yourself. When you are not lacking in self-awareness, not knowing identifying factors that lead to a toxic relationship, and also pick your friends right. I am so disappointed at the people that surrounded Johnny Depp and Amber Heard not being honest with them to get in this situation. The fact that you like, yo, bro, this chick is crazy. You got to check it out, man. You're doing some damaging behavior and habits that's tarnishing your health and all this stuff, doing all this drug abuse. Stop it. Stop. Pick your friends right. You can't pick your friends right. You're definitely not going to pick your partner right. And that's what we have here today. So I hope you guys make sure you subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Rob B Privilege, also subscribe to my channel too as well. Hopefully we'll see each other soon. Be your peace, guys, and make sure you take care of yourself.
By your grace.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take